Welcome to Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup. We're back after being gone for 2 weeks because I was on a vacation with my family in Florida. And here I am back in cold Indiana. I mean, I know it's colder other places, but to me, after being in the beautiful state of Florida and back in Indiana, I'm trying to readjust. And trying to readjust to coming back to this show. I totally missed you guys. There's a lot of weird that's happened in the last 2 weeks, sure, in the news and all that stuff, all the weird news. So, of course, we're going to have a lot in the World Wide Web of weird, but we have a guest tonight for the first time, Jesse Kalsi. He's the author of All About the Numbers, Track Luck, Abundance, and Joy Based on Your Numbers. He's an astronumerologist in the Vedic tradition of numerology, and I don't think I've really had anybody on as a sole numerologist on the show, and something I'm really interested in. I know Jamie's really interested in to hear out, how numbers affect your everyday life, the power of numbers. I guess it's something I've always been interested in. I feel like it's like the secret code to the universe, but I've always been so bad at math, I'm afraid of it. So, I don't know. We'll find out what the numbers mean for you guys tonight. Jesse will be on here after the World Wide Web of Weird. Like I said, I have a lot of weird stories. My wife was asking me before the show, she's like, what did you do? Are you doing that one? Stuff we had talked about on vacation. Like a guy who hit an alligator not far from where we were driving and died. An 11-foot alligator road. No, I'm not including the World Wide Web of Weird. There's other stuff. I mean, heck, did anybody see the I hate April Fools, the preserved dinosaur that they found? You see all that Facebook post? Yeah, it was on April 1st, so get the hint, it was fake. That's not the kind of stuff I have the World Wide Web of Weird. I got some really interesting stuff. And of course, we will open up the phone lines later in the show to call in, ask your questions of the guests tonight. I don't know if he's going to do like any kind of numerological reading for you right on phone. We don't really have that much time. But if you have a question about, how numbers can help you, or we'll get Jesse, see what he says you can call in about. But phone lines will be open later in the show. We got a lot to get to, so let's go ahead and get rolling on into it. Welcome to another night of Paranormal Soup. As I said before, I'm your host, Jason Bland. Tonight's guest, Jesse Kalsi, if I'm saying his last name right, author of All About the Numbers, Attract Luck, Abundance, and Joy Based on Your Numbers. And he's an astronumerologist. We'll be on later after this, after our news segment, after the first commercial break. Joining me tonight, as always, is my beautiful co-host, Jamie D. How you doing tonight, Jamie?
I'm doing great, thank you.
And guess what? We do have Rob here. Just getting in. Hopefully everything's working on Rob's end. How you doing tonight, Rob?
Well, pretty good. Sit down at the last minute. And of course, my camera didn't want to work. Nothing wanted to work. I'm like scrambling, but I think it works now.
Your camera works, but you sound like you're coming through your webcam audio.
Okay, then. Well, I thought I had it all fixed. But let's see here. How about now?
Now, just turn your volume up a little. There we go. Rob, long time no see. I got to finally meet this guy. And there's a picture in the Dropbox. If people haven't seen it on our Facebook post, I put it in there, Rob, if you want to show. We got to meet, finally. After 6 years, I met him on our family vacation. It was a 4-hour drive from where we were staying. We were in Bradenton, Florida, and we drove 4 hours to meet this guy and see St. Augustine Lighthouse for the first time. And we got to go on a tour with the boys. Dean and Liam loved it. They want to go back to St. Augustine, Rob. So you got to hook me up with that Airbnb friend you got, whatever. It was a beautiful town. I wanna we only were there that night to see Rob, and we went out for pizza, and we went to St. Augustine Lighthouse and did the whole ghost tour. But we were driving around afterwards, trying to find our way back to the hotel. I have a whole nightmare hotel story about that too. Rob knows. We were like, God, St. Augustine is so freaking beautiful. Like, I so want to come back. So we're gonna have to do that. We'll have to do more ghost hunting because the boys are now addicted. Yeah, that was our first family ghost tour. We always said that was our first real family vacation. We always said if we go on vacation, we're going to go on ghost tours, and we didn't plan it. We know we were going to try to meet him, and I went on the website for St. Augustine, saw they had a ghost tour that night. We were planning on coming down. I'm like, oh, we're getting a hotel, we're staying, we're going to do the ghost tour. So it was a lot of fun. Finally got to meet Rob. You can check out, I did post photos on the Midwest Paranormal Soup Facebook page of our trip at St. Augustine. Meeting Rob was awesome. It was awesome. Now next, somehow we got to meet Jamie.
Yep.
Somehow we got to meet Jamie. Yep. All right, guys.
I ate at that same place that we had pizza at last night, and there was just a duo playing in there, acoustic. It was nice and quiet. And
yeah, when we were down in Florida, it was literally the story of our trip. Everywhere we went was super busy. It took us like 45 minutes to take a 5-minute drive in Anna Maria Island. It was crazy. We got a lot to get to, though, in the World Wide Web of Weird. So let's go ahead and roll into the World Wide Web of Weird. Tonight on the World Wide Web of Weird, I thought I'd start out with some sad news, and I know a lot of you probably already seen this if you're aware of the man, but I figured I'd cover it because I've talked about him, I don't know, so many times on this show about a certain interview he did many years ago about aliens and the moon and all that. Is the legendary John Lear passed away on March 31st here, or was it March 30th? Real sad news. I hate starting out that way, but I figured we'd get it right out of the way. For those listening on the Paranormal Soup radio app, we are a webcast. We are live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. You can come watch or just listen and narrate best as possible. But yes, the legendary, this obituary says legendary record-breaking pilot, and he was. I mean, I think he had like something the most flights ever or whatever. I mean, he was a crazy amount of pilot skill on his end. And his father is famous for the Lear jet, obviously. But I heard of John Lear when I first started listening to Art Bell. And there's an infamous interview I've talked about plenty of times, and I actually got to ask John Lear about it. I called in when he was doing a radio interview, and I got to talk to him once, and that was an honor. I always wanted him to come on the show, but by the time I started doing the show, I don't think he was doing a ton of interviews, and he ended up blocking me on Facebook when I got arguing with somebody else on one of his pages, but... whatever. Still love the man. The interviews, I always enjoyed listening to him, Art Bell, and he put that little kernel in my mind about aliens on the moon. Basically, the moon's artificial, and it's a big soul capacitor sucking our souls up there. And I called him and I asked him about it, and he told me, oh, yeah, I got that one night when I was shooting the breeze with Whitley Strieber. And then I did an interview the next day of our Bell, and I kind of went on a tangent about it, just what we were thinking about. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe took a little wind out of that idea, but that idea in itself has stuck with my imagination for many years now, and he will definitely sorely be missed. All right, let's move on. All right, next up. British man busted for amassing enormous horde of bikes visible from space. From space. You can see this on Google Earth. I got this is Daily Mail, but shorter version here from Coast to Coast, Tim Binnell. Authorities in England have arrested a man who amassed a staggering horde of what they contend to be stolen bicycles, which he stashed in his backyard pile that was so enormous that it could actually be seen from space. The bizarre case came to light earlier this month when police in the community of Littlemore visited the unnamed resident home in what appears to have been a accumulation of lengthy feud between the man and his neighbors. Oh, yeah, you sure his neighbors love the big mountain of bikes. I mean, look at this. I started reporting this festering collection of bikes 4 years ago, declared Colleen Butler. The amount of bikes was just ridiculous. There must have been at least 500 of them. Oh, there's more than that. The problem grew to such an epic proportion, she claims, that rats began living in the bicycle pile, but local authorities refused to help her because they were skeptical of such an assertion. I mean, just come by and take a look, or get on Google Earth. As for the owner of the home, Butler laments that the man assured her the bikes were going to be sent to Africa for needy kids, but alleged act of charity never came to pass. I had conversations with him, but everything he tells you doesn't come true, she said of her bicycle hoarding neighbor. He lives in a cloud cuckoo land. That was her statement. Over the time, maddening mound continued to grow alongside the misgivings of neighbors who lament that the pile is an eyesore that is hurting the value of their property. Who's going to want to buy my house with all that next door? I mean, look at that. And he just kept stealing these bikes. I mean, maybe he had like a klepto issue for bikes, and just, I mean, he just got out of hand. I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely got out of hand.
I've always found a connection with hoarding and haunted location. I wonder if they have any paranormal activity. I don't know. That's definitely some kind of form of hoarding. Want to ride my bicycle? Yeah, no, he didn't even write them. I mean, like, I don't understand the point of the mound, but, insanity is insanity.
Want to steal that bicycle?
Yeah. I mean, geez. What are they going to do with all of it's the question now. I think the police probably knew about it. They're like, I just don't want to deal with that. Because, they have to impound everything, especially they're all stolen now. That's not going to be fun. All right, next up. Got some weird alien creatures tonight. This one, I'm not a big fan of these. This one, I wanted to cover because I saw this. I'm like, God, this is really familiar because it's not exactly the same. I'm not saying it is, but this whole weird alien creature, and this is from Unexplained Mysteries, weird alien creature washes ashore in Australian beach. Pastor Alex Tan recently captured footage of a very strange creature that discovered on the beach in Queensland. Describing the find as alien-like, Tan explained that he had discovered something weird before panning the camera down to provide a closer look at the remains splayed out across the sand. I was just really interested in what the heck this was. The discovery was made by Queensland, Maro Chordro. I'm butchering. I don't know how you say that. Beach back on March 21st. According to the social media video service agency Storyful, he said described the creature as having human-like hands, a long lizard tail, and a nose like possum, patches of black fur. It's probably koala that died and drowned and washed up. Because in America, we had something similar that's gone on for years. I would see pictures of this. Go to photo B.
I was going to say it's a turtle, but turtles don't have hands like that.
Yeah, no. Remember this creature? This went on for years. People posting the Montauk creature. It's just the Wikipedia. Yeah, you'd have to zoom in to see it. Remember that one? That went on for years, people posting about this. And it was on TV shows they'd mention. I'm like, and I'd sit there and yell at the TV. It was a freaking dead raccoon that lost all of its hair. I mean, it's literally, I've always, I cover these things because I see them posted. It's viral, so I'm going to talk about it. But the washed up creatures and stuff, I mean, best guess is it's some kind of creature that's, when water takes on any kind of biological body, it dies in it. Water can make it look all kind of construed and nasty looking and alien like and unrecognizable. I mean, it does that to the human body. You don't want to see a drowned person. So I don't know. It'll continue. I mean, we'll get another one of these in a couple years, or maybe in a few months. Another washed up creature. I'm not trying to be a skeptical prick about it. I'm just saying, just commonly. I don't think it's just like, you know. And then there's the April Fool's thing. I hate April Fool's thing. I don't even, like I was mentioning before the show started. There was that whole dinosaur decomposed, like, oh, freshly preserved, and like they have this whole long thing on there, and like this university's looking at it. We're gonna be cloning dinosaurs next, and yeah, it's on April Fool's. Get a hint. You know, all this stuff, and it'll circulate online for years to come as real. All right, let's move on. Now, this is kind of interesting. This is a river troll from a great website, Phantom and Monsters. John, what's his name? Lon Stickler? Yeah, that's his website. It's always has good stories, and this one has some photos. River troll humanoid observed and photographed in coastal Mississippi. And it's like I said, Phantoms and Monsters. Coastal Mississippi resident believes that they encountered a river troll while on their houseboat. They took a photo and described what they witnessed. What is this creature? About 6 years ago, 2015, my family lived on our houseboat on the river in a small town on coastal Mississippi. We were on the deck one evening looking across the river. The tide was low, and you could see well into the woods. Maybe 25 yards from us, something bent down near the water drinking. I went and retrieved my binoculars and took a closer look. It was pinkish tan with bulging eyes, funny-looking ears, 2 arms, 2 legs, and what appeared to be horns coming out of its head. Now you got something, okay? Now this guy, this is not a washed-up creature. Now we're talking, man. From what I saw, I would swear it was like a troll. It was devil ugly. I took my phone out and took a picture. To this day, anyone I show it to swears it's a river troll. I don't know what a river troll is, but I'm sure there's some lore behind that. Now, living on a houseboat, you see a lot of creepy stuff in the swamp. Also, there was always be trees or logs laying across the ditches of our 1,000-foot driveway in the middle of the swamp, as if something put them there to cross the deep parts. You couldn't walk up or down without that eerie feeling of being watched. It wasn't just me. Anyone who came out of the way felt it. You would also hear what sounded like monkeys. One time, something that threw a rock and hit my friend. I still own that property in the houseboat, but none of my grown kids will even go out there anymore. I don't show the picture to other people anymore. I don't have to prove anything, but I'm sharing it with you. I feel as maybe I'm the lucky one to have been in contact with several creatures in this woods, and some twice. Yes, it's blurry, and yeah, it's hard to make out, but you can clearly see its reflection in the water as it's drinking. And yeah, it's blurry. I don't know what that is. I definitely see what he describes as the horns. You definitely see the reflection of eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to get a night photo. This is 2015. If he was doing it on his phone, definitely not.
Kid or something right over here on the edge of the page, too.
Where?
All the way over on the very left-hand side of the page.
Huh.
Looks like a little garden face wearing a hat. I don't know what it is.
A river troll.
Kinds of things.
I don't know. I've never heard of a river troll, but I mean, I'm sure there's some lore behind that, or in Mississippi, maybe.
No, I'm meeting a river troll, and they're discussing things with this bird here.
But yeah, you do kind of see a reflection in the water of it, too.
Yeah. Pretty weird looking.
I don't know. It's weird. That's the kind of strange creature stuff I like to see, is this kind of stuff over the dead, washed up, bloated thing that, ooh, it's alien. No, it's just a bloated, dead animal. All right, let's move on. All right, this next one, I wish I could show you the video. I just found this, and I didn't have time to email to get permission. So I have just the article and the pictures from the article. But you can get this from, what's the website? What's the name of the site? Dang it. I forgot the name of it. It's also on Unexplained Mysteries. I have the short article from Unexplained Mysteries, but it's on YouTube. And you guys got to see this video. I wish I could show it to you. I have screen. There's a photo B. We'll get to the actual ghost. A couple who had been warned about demonic entities in their home managed to record something unusual. CCTV footage captures ghosts roaming around the house, and it really is like that. Even the cats run from the scene in the video. There's another photo. There should be a photo B with a zoomed in of that. If you go to there should be a photo B. When Joey and Amy Radke recently moved into their new home, they had initially dismissed claims that the property was haunted by something demonic, and for a time, everything was fine. This would all change, however, when they captured something unusual on the CCTV. The video, which can be viewed on YouTube, shows what they believe to be a ghostly apparition, which was recorded moving around the house in the early hours of the morning. What's more, it seems as though it was one of the couple's pet cats can be seen reacting to it. No, it's definitely reacting to it. It runs away. There it is. It's basically in the video. I'll describe it. I mean, this is what it's like for my radio audience, okay? So you guys get a picture. You hear the door, like a door open, whatever, and like half form walk out, and then it turns, and you see like the flash of its eyes, and then it disappears. but when you get the zoom in and the still shot, it looks like a woman in a nightdress.
Or the Chainsaw Massacre, kind of, with a big apron.
After analyzing the footage and doing some digging, Joey now believes that the clip shows the ghost of an elderly woman who he discovered had died at the property some years ago. A woman died in our bedroom many years ago. The neighbors say she was taken out by paramedics in her nightgown. In the video, you can see the figure is wearing what it looks like a nightgown. It totally does. The person we're renting from said they thought they felt a presence, and the previous renter said they saw demonic entities, shadows, and something watching her while she was sleeping. After the video, I have the feeling that I'm being watched. I'll be sitting by the TV in the living room, and the hallway is on my right, and I can see something out of the corner of my eye, but there's nothing there. I know that feeling. It's real. Our first apartment was like that. Me and Susan's first apartment, my wife, was definitely haunted, and it was like that. There's a room. I'd sit on the couch, and there was a room to the left we never wanted to use. Well, always got bad vibes in there, and it was a totally big room. We could use it for a lot of different things. We never wanted to use it. I think I ironed my clothes in there. That's about all I ever did in there. I would always feel like something was moving that room, and I would see it out in the corner of my eye. It's real. There's no two ways about it. You can't fake that. It proves that there's an afterlife. This video is the holy grail of ghost videos. I don't know if I'd call it LAD Bible. That's the website that originally came from. You can look it up at Ghost Lady Lurks in Hallway. If you type that into YouTube, within the last week or month, you'll find the video right away. My wife's like, you better share that video with me. I was telling her I couldn't play it tonight. I'll make sure I share it with my wife if you're watching. I wish I could play it. I just didn't have time to get an email permission from them to play the video, and I would totally get struck for it. But go check it out. I'll admit, it is a pretty interesting video. I wish I could show it. All right, we got to move on. I'm going to run out of time here. Next one. This story isn't a new story. This actually happened in the 80s, but I saw this circulating around because I guess they're talking about it. I thought this was really interesting, and it'll get to my next story about Ghost in the Machine. Or this almost could be a time travel story. It's up to your interpretation. And this is from Unexplained Mysteries here. I got the shorter article. WalesOnline.com is the original. Ken Webster and Debbie Oakes claim to have received numerous messages on their 80s BBC microcomputer. The mystery, which endured more than 30 years, began after the couple moved into an odd cottage in North Wales border back in the 1980s. While outside in their garden one evening, they noticed a purely green glow through the window. This was one of the reasons I was interested in the story. After venturing back inside, they found that someone had written a message on their computer. This is the message. True are the nightmares of a person that fears. Safe are the bodies of the silent world. Pretty flowers turn towards the sun, for you shall grow and sow, but the flower reaches too high and withers in the burning light. Over time, they received several other messages from what they believed the ghost of an individual from the 16th century who identified himself as Lucas Wayneman. What strange words you speak, it wrote on one message aimed at Ken. You are a worthy man who has a fanciful woman, and you live in my house with lights which the devil makes. It was a great crime to have stolen my house. L.W. Even stranger still, Ken also claimed that the couple had been receiving messages from another individual, this time someone claiming to be from the year 2019. Remember, this is 1980s, so they're getting messages from the 2019. Too bad they weren't getting messages from, 2020. Really would have waited just another year to time travel back and send these people messages. You could give them a lot of information, I don't know. It's since been suggested the house may exist on some kind of cross-section in time, enabling messages from different time periods to appear on the computer. To date, however, no definitive explanation for the phenomenon has ever been found. This went on for years, and then the messages stopped. The WalesOnline.com, I think, is original. Wales Online has the original article with a lot more to this story you can check out, or you like the short version I just read from Unexplained Mysteries. I love time travel stories. I love Ghost in the Machine stories. Can spirits affect electronics? Yes, we believe so. We do ITC, and I'm still working on ITC videos, guys. I'm way behind. But this brings me to my last one about Ghost in the Machine. And Jamie's a worse fear, right, of what's going to happen to humanity. This comes from Science Times. Science. Live longer for 150 years in the metaverse, but only if you are willingly able to permanently leave your physical body and become a living app. I don't have time to read this whole article. But basically, there is a Russian billionaire, Dmitry Iskov, who is part of a 2045 initiative, a nonprofit organization that aims to extend human lifespan with either artificial bodies or or uploading people to a virtual afterlife, basically. And like I said, me and my wife just finished watching the second season of Upload. I mentioned that show on here several times. My 10-year-old son Dean is fascinated by the concept, anything afterlife. We had a long conversation after the ghost hunt. My son had to go for a walk because kind of hit him the whole I will die one day kind of thing. And I'm like, I'm so sorry for that. But and he's fascinated by the show Upload, because the idea, like, oh, we could one day in the future, maybe mom and dad won't die. I'll see him in a virtual world. I'm like, no, buddy, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that if they make it. And that show totally warns you not to, because like you go to the digital afterlife and they find ways to charge you money in the digital afterlife. Like you still have hunger and you still have to eat and pay for food in the digital afterlife. I'm like, okay, I'd just rather die. Thank you. Let's move on to the next adventure. I mean, seriously, I don't know. Ask yourself this question. I mean, go watch Upload. It was a good show. Too short, but a good show. Would you upload to a digital afterlife? I mean, then the big question I have, and I have it in the Upload episode. The other question is, maybe it doesn't even matter, because half of what they talk about a lot of times with this is, to me, not you. It's not your soul. It's a digital copy. If you read the article, they'll talk about the brain. I mean, we don't even have computers that even come close to the human memory capacity. And if you're copying all that and trying to recreate the synapses and the brain activity of a person and upload that in a sense, or if you're copying it, then all the bets are off. It's just a copy. You still die and your soul's going to go somewhere, and there's just a digital copy out there continuing on to act like you, But that's it. That's just a copy. But the other concept is, and this is where these people might go with it, because we got people freezing their brains and their heads to be brought back, Vanilla Sky, basically. If you haven't seen that movie, Tom Cruise, they take your brain out and put it in like a little thing to hook it up to a computer and keep your brain alive, and you're in that virtual world. All these things, there's a lot of billionaires out there with a lot of money. They're putting their money into this because they don't want to die. Because if there is an afterlife, they know they're probably screwed for all the bad things they did to become the billionaires they are. So they're going to make their own afterlife, and it's a bit scary. Me, I wouldn't do it. The next great adventure. You're not going to know. I mean, I could see somebody dies young and giving them a chance to extend out, spend time with their family. But eventually, I'd want the switch turned off. Eventually, I got to know what's on the other side. That's just me. That's it for the Worldwide Weird. Blah, blah. Cannot talk tonight. Jesse Kalsi, or Kalsi, sorry, not Khaleesi. That's Game of Thrones. Jesse Kalsi, author of All About the Numbers, Track Luck, Abundance, and Joy based on your numbers. He's astronumerologist. Will be on after this commercial break, but we do have to go to commercial break, and we will be right back. And we will open up the phone lines in about an hour later in the show. All right, guys, just hang in there. We'll be right back.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hopsey Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Of the second kind, physical evidence of a UFO. Close encounters of the third kind, contact. From Steven Spielberg, the director of Jaws, comes one of the most ambitious and unusual films ever made. And what you will see has never been seen before. It's a cosmic mystery crossing what many scientists believe will be the next threshold of human experience. It is called Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It begins in an Indiana town and leads to one inescapable conclusion. We are not alone. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Certificate A. Now showing at the Odeon, Leicester Square.
The international chart-topping, Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest has been described as terrifyingly real, a must-read, shocking and chilling brilliance, genuinely worrying, utterly frightening. Don't read before bed. Described as one of the spookiest writers out there, best-selling author G.L. Davies presents Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest. The true paranormal account that is shocking the world. Dare you enter? Dare you read? Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, and wherever books are sold. Pray you never have to live there.
This is the sound of a space clock aboard a U.S. satellite 180 miles above the Earth. No one winds up its timepiece. It's powered by a tiny battery, a battery that delivers power for years without replacement. Now the same type of battery, the Duracell battery, can bring new reliability and long life to your battery-operated equipment. Radios, cameras, toys, all run far longer. Duracell batteries, the long-distance power cells, outlast any ordinary battery. The same type of battery that keeps space clocks running for years can bring long life to anything powered by batteries. Dura, as in durable. Cell, as in power cell. The Duracell battery, made by Mallory.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from Talkstream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now. The Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Switch to DCS ranging.
240, nominal to profile.
We're in the pipe, 5 by 5.
Tonight on Paranormal Soup, our guest is Jesse Kalsi. He's the author of All About the Numbers, Attract Luck, Abundance, and Joy Based on Your Numbers. So you've ever heard of astronumerology? Well, Jesse Kalsi is a world-renowned counselor sought out by Hollywood and Bollywood stars, Silicon Valley billionaires, real estate moguls, entertainment companies, and people just like you. Jesse has discovered the interconnection between the planets and the numbers. You can make certain assumptions about your optimum numbers that can counter-influenced by a planet that isn't in alignment with the numbers you thought were favorable. Jesse can predict positive or negative outcomes based on the numbers of your home address, your bank account, your cell phone numbers, the car you drive, the colors you wear, the partners you align with, the people, including lovers in your sphere, the investments you make, the months of the year you are favorable to your personality, pet you own, or a host of other factors based on your numbers and how they match or conflict with these other elements in your life. He's a highly successful real estate professional for many years. He applies all of this to form a home or property analysis that brings to bear the numbers with the Vedic tradition of balancing the 5 elements of water, fire, air, earth, and space. So if something isn't working in your life, your numbers may tell the story, including the numbers represented by individual planets that are connected to you. Jesse says there are heavy numbers that will stop you or anyone else in their tracks, numbers to be avoided at all costs. On the contrary, there are very lucky numbers too. I need some lucky numbers. I'll tell you what, ever since I've come back from our vacation in Florida, it's like everything in my house is breaking down. Like my house, you leave me for a week, I'm gonna break down. It's like some kind of energy. So maybe I'll get some advice from Jesse on that tonight. And we will open up the phone lines later in the show for you to ask your questions as well. We got a lot to get to, so let's go ahead and get to our guest. All right, we got our guest in the waiting room. Let's bring him on. How you doing tonight, Jesse?
Hey, very well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's an honor to have you on the show. And I think you are the first of numerologists I've ever had on the show.
Oh, great. Thank you.
And it's something I've been very interested in. I'm interested in a lot of subjects in the paranormal field or the mystical field or anything outside the norm of mainstream thought. But I've always felt like I'm totally lost or confused on numerology. I was telling this to Jamie, who's really interested in it. That it's something I've tried to grasp. To me, it feels like that it's like the secret code of the universe. Like you could use it like a hacker would to hack your life in a sense. And that's what I kind of was interested when I first read your bio about coming on this show, especially about how you patch somebody with numbers. The fix things. There's a lot to get into tonight, but I'd like to first, learn about how did this, develop for you getting into astronumerology?
My background, as you can see with my turban on my head, I'm from the Far East, from India, and I've been here in the United States for many years now. I came here in 1988, and like most immigrants, I've had my shares of ups and downs, but
Yeah.
I had this very basic information of numbers and numerology, and I was always fascinated by numbers. And then as time went by, and I had this a little call from the other side, a little intuition all the time, telling me, listen to this and listen to this, right?
Yeah.
They were telling me, follow us, listen to us, and then I started following numbers in a very in a very strange way, and it started opening many doors for me. I practice the Vedic tradition and all this. See, Jason, there are many schools of numerology. We have the
Right.
Western tradition, we have the Chinese system, we have something by the Greeks, the Hebrews, and then the Far East, of course, from where I come from, India. So I use the Chaldean code, to calculate numbers and letters.
I've always wondered about the differences because I know there are differences with them, but there's also similarities too. I mean, there's got to be. It's numbers. It's like the basic language of the universe. What separates the Vedic tradition really from all the others?
Okay, so in this tradition, what we do is we associate numbers and with planetary energy. So like basic numerology goes from number 1 to number 9, like we all know, and the rest
Yeah.
that follows after that is many will say it's repetition, but it is not. It kind of gets more. It gets more involved. It gets more difficult, and I'll tell you why. Because see, basic numerology 1 to number 9, Vedic tradition. So the number 1 has the energy of Sun, 2, Moon, 3, Jupiter, 4, Uranus, 5, Mercury, 6, Venus, 7, Neptune, 8, Saturn, and 9, Mars. So this is how this goes, right? Basically, and it all comes down to our date of birth. That's where we start this from. Now, just
Yeah.
give me one example, right? Quickly, if I tell you, so if you consult with me, Jason, and I tell you, hey, Jason, number 9 is your lucky number, and so Jason says, oh, I'm looking for a house right now, and I need to move from here, and I found this house number 1080 or 18, or combination of Sun and Saturn 1 and 8. Hey, Jesse told me number 9 is a good number for you, but is that a good choice? That is not a good choice because because Sun and Saturn 1 and 8 are always in a collision course, and a place like that would bring in things like cuts, injuries, accident, family court, legal trouble, separation, divorce. Whole bunch will stand on the door right? But
Hmm.
if you are in the law enforcement, or if you work as a doctor, you're a surgeon, something like that, you'll be successful in those fields. But your personal life, right? Those challenges will be standing on those. It's like blood and metal, right? You end up in a
Yeah.
hospital on a surgeon's table, or you crash your car, and again there's blood and metal. So that kind of energy will stick on the door. So this is how it's just a little complicated. It's not about adding numbers. It's
Hmm.
way more complicated than that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It seems complicated. I have a book. I have a whole slew library of books, and
Yeah.
I have this one book on numerology, and I believe, if I remember, it is of the Vedic tradition. And I remember reading that thing and going, "This is so interesting, fascinating," but I don't understand. By the end of it, I still like, I don't, I grasp nothing like of the concept. Like I believe in it. Actually, I think their numbers have a lot of powerful meaning. I've always fascinated by Nikola Tesla, who said 3, 6, and 9. If you understand the meaning of that, you'll understand how of the universe. There's some of the most brilliant people in the world been fascinated by numbers, obsessed with them. So I do think it's. I mean, it is the universal language in a sense. Everything flows by number.
May I ask a quick question? When
Absolutely.
when you refer to a lucky number and you're starting with birth date, is that similar to a life path number, or is that something
Right.
different?
No, the life path is more than that. So, now say for example, and I'll give you my example, and I'll just give you my. I'm on April the 3rd, right? Some year, and so what we start with the day first, April the 3rd. So what happens is that energy, April the 3rd, it comes in the period of Mars, Aries energy, right? So Mars is ruled by number 9. So 9 has some effect on me. It has a lot of effect on me because I know that my ruler 9, and then number 3 is Jupiter energy. That also plays a role in my path in many ways. But then if you add my whole date of birth across, it comes to a number 29, right? Which is, comes down to a master number. So so life path is about adding all the day, month, and the year. That's where we get the life path, and the day is what we start from. So that's how it. But then it is more than that. We'll have to get on the ruler quickly to what rules us, right? And then on that particular date of birth, there are certain numbers that will vibrate, and they'll go up and down. See, like my best numbers with my date of birth, April the 3rd, are numbers threes and number nines. Always work with me, number 9. And this book that you have all about numbers, right? The title of this book, I've added it to a number 54, which is my number. It's got Mercury
Yeah.
and Uranus. Mercury, because Mercury is communication, is what you're doing, right? And Uranus and Mercury kind of get gel well together to kind of spread it out, right? So that's how I've named the title of this book. And if you look at the colors too, you see it's got the purple color, which is the crown chakra. It's got crown there. It's got the yellow, which is Venus energy, right, to match the energy of the year. So, and then if you look at my name too, Jesse Kalsi, right, it adds up to a 27 with Chaldean code. So see, I've just balanced everything with my energy, and that's
Right.
what I ask my clients, whoever I meet, by the grace of God, right? We look at their numbers and we match everything around them, harmonizing their energy with their numbers, not mine, their numbers.
And it starts with their date of birth, basically, right? I mean,
Exactly,
that's
that
where you
is correct.
start.
Yes.
See, I wonder. I was just saying as we're coming to the show, like, what's going on with my energy right now? Because I come, we had a week vacation in Florida. And I come back and like everything in this house is breaking down. Like the light bulbs are blowing. My dryer went out. My sink broke. And like all at once. When it rains, it pours. But I'm one of those people who believes, okay, what's the energy? What is doing this? Like I know it's just not coincidence. There's something to this. Like people can have like depending on their birthday. Like today's April 3rd, and I'm born June 10th, 1979. That energy is making everything in my house blow up.
Yes.
Like
Yeah. The June,
that I believe that.
yeah. So June. See. So basically, so June the 10th. You said so. Basically, that energy will go with more 4, 5 minutes. So it'll go with more Sun and Mercury, 1 and 5. So Sun and Mercury is like what you're doing. So you're like kind of right now communicating with the whole world, right? And Sun is fame with it. So 1 and 5. The Sun and Mercury are your best numbers, which also means that the number outside your house is also very important. Has to flow with this energy, you know, and it has to
So
flow.
like the number of my house is 714. Like if you're talking about like, the address.
Yeah, so 714. See 714. So you got Neptune there. You got Sun. So the Sun works with you. 4 is Uranus. So you see that number could be improved actually. That it needs a strong.
Yeah, this is the patch thing you
Yeah.
talk about in the book.
How long have you been in this house?
16 years, I think.
Yeah,
About 16
yeah,
years, 17
yeah,
years.
yeah. This house needs a patch definitely.
Oh yeah, it needs a lot of patches, buddy.
Yeah,
A lot.
yeah.
And I am not the handyman, I will admit.
Yeah. this definitely needs a shift. It definitely needs a correction. And then then also we look at that. I haven't looked at your name here, but Jason as a name is definitely a good name for you. That has a lot of Saturn energy, and Saturn dwells very well with this 1 and 5 energy. So that's working really well, and yeah, that's working really well. And then see, for someone like you, if you wear a emerald, emerald is a it's a cold stone, but emerald is a very powerful neutral stone. Work great with you. And I've
I
had
like
many,
the color green.
yeah, green
I
emerald.
noticed.
And emerald's heart chakra, right? In your case, like I've had clients in Bollywood too who wear this emerald, with this kind of energy. They're hugely successful there, right?
I
Very,
do
That's
love the
my
color green.
birthstone.
That's my favorite color.
yeah.
The first paranormal experience I ever had was a green floating head that came flying through the room. It was like this green glow.
Oh,
So
yeah.
to me, the paranormal is always represented by this green Slimer kind of color from
Oh,
Ghostbusters, I guess.
I
But
got goosebumps hearing that. Really, I mean, you said the green, right? Because that is the energy for you. But do try
yeah,
it. Listen, do try an emerald, right? And wear it in your right hand, pinky finger. Wear it in some silver or white gold. Right?
that's hard for me, man. It took me
Or
years to get
around
used to
your
wearing a
neck,
wedding ring.
or wear it around your neck, and touching your heart chakra.
Okay, maybe
Very,
that. Maybe I could
very
get away with a
powerful.
necklace. I don't. I'm not. I am such not a jewelry person. I don't
Try
like
it.
wearing anything.
Experiment it one time. You will see how what it does for you.
And you just
Yeah.
wear it around the heart chakra. I mean, isn't an emerald expensive? See, I
Look at
don't know nothing about jewelry.
emerald.
Jamie's like,
You'll find one. Something will be. Something will come to you. Don't worry. It'll come to you. Don't worry. Don't think.
Now, you mentioned my name, like Jason, so that's good for my numbers, right?
Yeah, Jason's very good. Got Saturn energy, right? So Jason works very well with the energy of Mercury, which is a number 5. So that's really good. That's really good.
No, but like, if my name didn't work for me, obviously there must be people out there. You're like, yeah, lose that name, man. Like it don't work with your
Yeah,
numbers.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
happens, right? I mean,
All the time. Names. See, the name vibration is very important. See, many times what happens is, there are lots of people who don't have the correct date of birth, but just by the name vibration, we can, make some adjustments too, because that's what vibrates on this earth, right? When you say your name, right? That energy vibrates in the universe, right? It tracks
right.
the frequency, right? So names are very, very important. Very, very important. Yeah.
Well, I was born in '79, and there was all kinds of kids named Jason. I work in a store with 2 other Jasons. Like when I was growing up, a kid like Jason, and it'd be like 6 kids. There were 8 kids in the classroom. Yeah, so it was a very popular name. I guess it worked out for me. But if for you, Jesse Kalsi, that's not your initial real name, I'm guessing either.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. My official name is Jasbir, Jasbir, Jasbir Singh Khalsi. That's my official name. That's the way it's written on my passport, and that's my name that my parents gave me. Right?
Right.
Yeah. But Jesse Khalsi is kind of shorter here in the United States, and I just used it to my vibration with this kind of energy, so it worked
So
quite well.
did you pick that name from like the numbers, basically?
Yeah,
Like
yes,
you
yes,
figured it
exactly.
out? Yeah.
Yes, my numbers exactly,
So
exactly.
do you recommend to clients like, yeah, you should change your first name? I mean, that's a tough one for people. You go by a
Some
name all
people,
your life.
people all the time. I'll be honest. I have men consulting me. A lot of men who are in
Hmm.
these high tech business kind of those, but a majority of my women clients are women, Jason.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
all these
I'm
very
not surprised by that.
high powered women, right? Who are very successful, and they're very successful women. They're very intelligent. They're very intuitive. I tell you that. And yeah, so a lot of those consult me here in Hollywood and on the other side in Bollywood in India. Yeah.
So, I mean, what is like, so your birth date, everything I've ever seen when it comes to astrology, astronumerology, everything a lot of times revolves around your birth date.
Yeah.
And we talk a lot about, a concept like reincarnation and karma.
Yeah.
Is that date you're born, is that set in stone, this kind of personality, who you are because of this past lives and karma, and that's why you're born on that day? It's like a roadmap.
Yeah, absolutely. I do believe in the theory of karma. Absolutely. Karma. Our actions are very important, and good deeds would definitely give you better energy on your rebirth, right? So I'll give you one example. There's one number that I've experienced many times is the number 19. The sun is very important, but there's one number, 19 date of births have this energy of good past life karma, right? And
Yeah.
I've seen these people who are born on these days are kind of stubborn and obstinate, but they always have their way, right? They do strange things, right? and but they still, are successful. They're lucky in life. They overcome many obstacles and are just successful. So, but then just to go back to say, I think people who have a lot of sun energy. I mean, you have a lot of sun energy. You have a 10 date of birth, right? So your life,
Yeah.
you overcome things very easily. You would, blocks won't bother you, right? And you'll use your head more, and you'll be less on your heart chakra, and if something bothers you, just go over it and say you won't even look back, kind of energy, right? Just like that. But number 19, yes, great past life karma will come on that date. We have many number 19. We have President Clinton came on number 19. He's a Leo with 19.
Oh, he's a lushing example. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
he just did what he did, unstoppable. You know. See,
Oh
that's
yeah, totally. I'm not getting into politics, but yeah, I mean, look at the guy. I
yeah.
mean, he came from a really crappy. I mean, that's a good example. I mean, he came from if karma dealt him a hand, it dealt him a bad hand early on. If you,
Mhm.
actually, as somebody who doesn't like Bill Clinton at all, I do my research and I read his autobiography.
Yeah.
I read the whole long piece of junk.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's really interesting to see where he came from and and how he got to where he is. It's a lot of luck.
Yeah, I'll give you another example. A former Prime Minister of India, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, right? She's another 19, similar. I mean, but the thing with these 19 people, they're very promiscuous. I mean, they have many relationships. This is nothing new about these people. I've seen that. And
Right. They're
yeah,
like self-destructive in their relationships.
yeah, they are. But still, they're very powerful. Well, they just come with the
Right.
karma, right? They come with the karma. We can do what we want, and but then I've also seen a lot of these energies. They have the end. Is not good. They really suffer in the end. I've seen that a lot.
Right. Well, it seems like to be an archetype or like a reoccurring story. I mean, look at Bill Gates right now. I mean, you know, the guy has everything. I mean, he's got all the money in the world, and here he is getting in trouble at Microsoft for flirting with the interns and, going to Epstein Island and doing all these things. Are just like, dude, you have the life. You got all the money, and he's probably miserable as hell.
Okay, now there's another one. That's a very good one you said. See the number 28. They are good in business. I've seen that, but they are again, just like you said, the cheats. They cheat on their spouses all the time. I've seen that too. See, if you
He cheats
look
in
at
business too.
yeah, so you look at Elon Musk. He has a 28 date of birth too. He's look at him. He's one of the wealthiest men, or maybe the wealthiest man in the world today, right? I mean, he has many relationships.
I think Bezos has got him beat, but yeah.
Yeah. So, but yet you see, they're very powerful people. You know,
Yeah.
he goes on and says, "Hey, Dogecoin is a good coin, or it's going to do well. It goes up a few cents, the whole world runs after it." So that's how powerful they're. Again, going back to what you said earlier, it's karma. They come
Yeah.
with good karma, but when they come to this earth, they just kind of wreck it, and then.
Well, I think it's part of it, though. I've always wondered. I mean, karma. We look at karma as, action reaction, basically, or consequences to your actions in life. That you're gonna, have to relive what you put upon others. I kind of like that concept, but I also think it's just a lesson plan.
Yes.
What I've always wondered. Like Bill Gates, you're going to go in, you're going to be a multi-billionaire, but you're going to have to deal with this issue where you want to just, poke everything that moves, and you're going to have an unhappy family life because of it. You're going to have to learn from that. Something along those lines.
Yeah, this is very interesting. I was actually it's quickly talked about what happened in the Oscars recently, right?
With Will Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith.
My wife's up. I'll tell you right now, my wife's upstairs rolling her eyes because we were just talking about, like, God, are we going to get over this Will Smith thing?
Okay.
But no, go ahead. No, it's a good point. Go ahead.
I was just looking at his number. I don't have his date of birth, but I know last year, right, he's a Virgo, right? He turned 53, he got into his 54th year. Now this
Yeah.
year, right, he has a lot of moon and 2 and 7 energy. So he's a very kind of a right brain kind of guy. He's very intuitive, he's calm and collected, right? But
He was born on September 25th, 1968.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah, I saw that. So he turned 53 and then he entered his 54th year. So now just watch, right, what number 9 can do. So his basic numerology goes with Mercury, you got Moon and Neptune, which kind of holds him, right, with the kind of word. Hollywood connects very well. The name of Hollywood with 34 connects very well with his energy, with Will Smith. Okay, the total name vibration, Will Smith comes up to a number 30, which is Jupiter, the largest planet. He turned 53 last year, entered his 54th year. Now, number 9 is not his number. Number 9, we all know, number 9 is Mars. Number 9 is the planet of war, aggression, conflict, all the rest of it. So he turns 53. Then comes the 27th of March. If you add those numbers across, right, like you said, life path earlier,
Yeah.
that's another nine there. Okay, 9 to 9. Okay, then it happens in the period of Aries, or after the 21st of March is another number nine. So Mars comes in, and then it is who? It is his wife, who's also born on the 18th of. She's a Virgo as well. Comes another nine. If you add all the numbers up, it's another. So that nine kind of just overpowered Will Smith on that day. Mars over, and he just walked in and just did what he did. Which was not him. See, so that is my point, right? These numbers sometimes can kind of,
I think there is. I mean, everybody knows it. Everybody feels it. You wake up a certain day and you just feel like I want to rage at the world. Like
yeah,
I have days like that. I don't even know why. It's the energy in the air. Other
yeah,
days I just feel weird or off. And you say, "Oh, it's the energy today" or whatever. I don't know why, but it could
yeah,
be the numbers, the date, and everything playing on it. The influence of the planets. Uh,
absolutely. It's there all the time, all the time.
Now, for somebody like me, I mean, like certain years are gonna. Can you look at it certain years when you see somebody's birthday and go, "This is a year to watch out for. This is a year things should be better for you." Does it kind of work that way, or
Yeah, it does, absolutely does, right? So if you want me to quickly yours. So you said you were June the 10th, right? If you have a
right?
June the 10th, you said 1979, right?
Yes.
June the 10th. So June the 10th, 1979, 1989. So we go 10 and 36 and 6. So you have so your Venus is really good. So Venus in the name is really really good. So so this could also mean bigger get into a bigger medium, like maybe films or television. I don't know if you've done that in the past, but things like that. It's like a
I
bigger
did.
medium.
All I've done on television was recently I did an interview for ABC South Bend News. That's about all I've ever done television
Yeah,
wise.
but this energy would definitely be. You're very young right now, and I think with time it's going to go. It's going to take off. So 1979 to now would be one is 80 plus 20 is, and then you got 22 here, so you got 42 and 43. So you got 43. Now you enter into your 44th year. So what happens? You enter your Saturn year, right? So
My
Saturn,
44th?
yeah, 44th, yeah. It's just going to happen now in June, right? So 43, 44.
No, that'll be because I turned 43 in June.
Yeah, yeah. So that means that you will be entering your 44th year. That's how we do it, right? You
Oh,
turn
oh, oh,
43.
because of time of conception. See, this is where I get confused. So,
Yeah. So you
oh, so okay, so it's not like so when I turn 43, it's my 44th year.
exactly. That's how we
Right.
look
See,
at it.
that's right. Okay.
So you entered your Saturn year. So when you enter your Saturn year, then we have to look at all these numbers, right? So Saturn, what that tells me is this: for the next couple of years, I'll say
Hmm.
for the next 18 months, you need to be a little cautious. You'll be driving. What is the color of your car?
Gray. And both, yeah, gray and silver. I
Oh,
drive the gray
those
Impala.
colors are good. Okay, those colors are good. Gray and silver both are good colors for you, right? So, but we'll definitely have to patch your place, right? So, what this says is after so now there's a change, north and south node change on the 12th of April, right? So, this is basically going to bring a big shift worldwide. It's a huge change coming up, and so does,
April 12th?
yeah, April 12th. But the energy is already here now. It's already here.
Right. Oh, I feel it.
Yeah, it's already here, which means that you have to be cautious and you have to be, careful what you say. You have to be, you have to be very watchful, and you're going to calm down. It's more about what you say is important now. You tell yourself calm, control, and do the right thing, and all the time. Calm,
And
control,
how
and
you react.
yeah, yeah. So you have to watch. That's all you have to watch, because Rahu, the North Node, right, is what you say. Is like it'll suddenly make you say something, right, and then you say, "Oh, what? Why did I say that?" It's like
Or
that.
next thing you know, you're slapping Chris Rock.
So that energy is already up. So and interestingly, that energy goes for almost 18 months, right? So that period is what. But then Mercury, like I said earlier, Mercury is communication, and I would strongly recommend that you wear that thing around your neck to kind of
The
calm you.
emerald.
Yeah, and then Mercury will kind of control what you say. It'll filter your whatever comes out of here to be filtered, right? And
I
you
need a
see well.
filter.
Yeah, yeah,
A lot of stupid. I'll admit, a lot of stupid stuff will come out of my mouth at times, especially on this show. Just be prepared. But it's interesting listen to you work out the numbers as you're doing it, and figuring out where I would be 40. So in a sense, though, my 44th year should be a good year. I hope.
no, it's telling you, be tread carefully. That's what it's saying.
Tread carefully. That doesn't sound good. Okay, I will tread carefully. Oh man, see, is that I wanted to hear good luck,
No, no, see, the thing is, just let me say, your date of birth is a strong date of birth, right? It's like the sun, right? When the sun rises, the sun doesn't stay behind the clouds, right? Sun
hmm
doesn't like to stay behind the clouds, and that is you, right? It'll always kind of come out of the clouds. That's you, so you don't have to worry. But it's still, it says, just you're in the media, so just be a little cautious.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. Nowadays, you can get canceled for anything. I don't give a crap who cancels me. They
Mhm.
can't cancel me. I'm not. I don't. Nobody owns me.
Mhm.
But I can piss off people. I've done it, and I'll do it again. Now, for people that want to understand this more, I mean, getting your book. How, I haven't. I didn't actually get a copy of your book, so I do want to get a copy. I'm interested in reading this because I have, like I said, I've read a couple books on numerology and I'm trying to understand it. But for people, how do you take them, like starting out with numerology? Where do you start with people, not just in a reading, but in your book, to start kind of understanding their numbers,
Yeah.
what they need to look out for?
So so I have two books out. This is the second book, right?
hmm
And both these books have, this is I've basically, it's applied numerology. Whatever I have learned in my experience, I've tried to put it in these books, right? But now, if you read these books, Jason, you definitely learn a lot. But at the same time, these are not how-to books, right? A
Right.
lot of people have read the books and say, "Hey, Jesse, we need to patch it just the way you do," and it's so hard to explain because there's so many combinations, right? And you can't, teach patching in one book. It is impossible. So, there's a lot of information, and the reader will learn a lot from it. But to say that, you learn everything or know everything, well, that's not going to happen. But but you definitely learn a lot from it.
Well, I'm sure you've gotten people like, read your book or heard about you and started looking into it and like, I patched my numbers and everything went horrible. Like they probably didn't know what they were doing. It could be you could mess things up by patching it wrong, right? I
Oh
mean,
yes, yes.
there,
I've had less people, but I had more, people that copy me. The other people who read book intuitives and astrologers, and I've had people like that who got a hold of the book and then they started consulting their clients without knowing how to patch it really, right? So I've had many like that. Yeah.
what can you give us an example of how it went bad for somebody if they did it wrong?
Uh,
Like,
you
put
know,
the definitely wrong numbers. Like you said, you pick. Oh, you're lucky. My lucky number is 9. I'm gonna put 9 on everything.
Yeah,
you
yeah, I
know.
see. There was this one lady in Seattle. I was on a radio show, and then she called me later, and then so there's one gal, and she's quite well known, but she read my book in Los Angeles, and she consulted this lady there and said she's having relationship problems. So she told her to put a number two inside her bedroom door, which is something that you never do, right? Because we try to avoid moon in the house because using number two energies is not good for money or relationships, right? So she just
Really.
told her to place it there. So, but we changed it later, but so things like that, right? Um,
See, I've always wondered too. I mean, you talk about addresses. One, you can't. I could. How would you patch your address? I've always wondered this as a paranormal investigator. I mean, can a place be the reason it has activity or seems to be negative vibes be just alone because of the address?
yes, it happens. I've seen a lot of 18 addresses. A number 1 8 will pull a thing like that. A number 1 6 will do that too. A number
Really?
oh, a number 16 will absolutely do that. 16 is
I
it's
actually can
very,
think of a couple places I've investigated that a 16 address.
yeah. 16 is very mysterious. 16 is very mysterious, and
May I,
six.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go
I
on.
was curious, what about 1112 as an address?
1112. It depends who has it with what date of birth, but it's not a very stable address.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
That makes sense. Well, but you say it depends on who has it because I will have a location. I can look back at its history, and it'll have a resident move in, have all this activity. They move out, somebody else moves in, nothing happens.
You know
They
what?
move out, and then somebody else moves in, and then stuff happens. So, and I always say, well, I always say, the people are like the needle on the record player, and some people don't have a needle. That some people will make the activity. They're like The Shining, and Stephen King's novel. They have the shine, or they have something that energizes it, but it could be their numbers.
That is absolutely true. I like you said that. You know why? Because each time a new occupant comes, the date of birth changes, right? You
hmm
know, I had this one gentleman, I won't name him. He's up here in Colorado. I did a broadcast with him a couple of weeks ago, and he's been in that property for almost 40 years, right? So number 16, right? And his
Yeah.
and his date of birth match that place perfectly. He's an engineer, right? And he does podcasting. He's a very advanced intuitive, right? And we talked about numbers, and I said this is a very difficult number, but in your case, it works perfectly, and that's what he agrees. So I've been there for 40 years, and he's really good at what he does. But
So he's good with that number, but somebody
yes,
else moves in with that number, things could get messy or get weird.
absolutely correct. Absolutely
That's so
correct.
interesting. And this is all because of the planets. This is the
Yes.
influence of the planets, basically. This is what you
Absolutely.
tie it back
Numbers
to.
are planetary energy. See, like when I say, patch, I've been patching this for the last 20 years,
Right,
patching homes. See, so numbers are alive, Jason. They're alive. So when
right.
you add a little sticker on the door, right, whatever number it is, it starts vibrating right away. It starts correcting, the energy starts changing on the door. So what will happen is some correction in the sense maybe a new opportunity comes to the door, or a new, you can suddenly find a property that you can move to. So things like that. So it will be a positive shift in some form, which will come to the door, right? And that's how this always works.
Maybe Publishers Clearinghouse. You know, I don't know, but that's what it is. So like, if somebody you're like, okay, you need to put these numbers on your door because you can't change your address.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I saw you put in their bank account. You can't change your bank account
No,
number. They
no,
won't
you
let you
can't
do
see it.
that.
No. But before you choose a bank account, I suggest pick a bank account that the name of that bank account kind of matches your energy, right? That it's a good idea to do that. And I typically to open an account. I normally pick up a Friday because Friday represents the energy of Venus, right?
Hmm.
Venus is money, so I'd much go on a Friday to open a bank account, depending on the name of the bank as well.
So I mean, for you, I mean, so you take every. I don't know how much of your aspects of your life, but you sit there and do the math every day for your what time you're going to go do something, or if you're going to put your bank account here, or you sit there and add all these things kind of up all the time.
Sometimes I don't do it that much.
Yeah.
A little bit. I'm a little, I know what happens is, I'll be honest with you. I follow my dream pattern, right? I've seen it all the time. If I get up in the morning with a good dream, you know how it is. It's been
Yeah.
years, I can tell how my day is going to be. I just know it. You know how it is. Intuitively, the soul knows, right? And then very often, what I have when I do people's readings and numbers, then I pick up things that have nothing to do with numbers at all. And people are amazed, now where did this come from with numbers? But I think something else comes from somewhere else.
Well, you mentioned that earlier. That's what got you into this. You felt you had an outside influence or a spiritual influence that got you into this. Can you talk a little more about what that is?
Um, I visit some very important spiritual spots in India. I like to visit some places there, which are very high frequency, high energy places, right? And then I also see people wear gemstones and things like that. I believe in these rudraksha beads. These rudraksha.
Root chakra?
No, Ruth. I spell it for you. Rudraksha. Rudraksha.
Rudraksha.
So I tell you, so see, a human body, it vibrates at a frequency about 8 to 9 joules is how you measure energy. Joules, 8 to 9 joules, right? So these beads are like, they come out of a fruit that grows in these trees in the kingdom of Nepal in the Himalayas, and they come in many facets, right? They have those cuts there, and these beads carry very high energy, right? So and you can find them online. There are sources that sell them, right? And but they're very powerful. So if you have some good beads around you, right, it'll balance your chakras inside. See, the light switches inside the body, right? The chakras are very, very important. And once those chakras are balanced, with these beads, right, uh, amazing things happen, right? Amazing things happen. I'll give you one example. See, like women have, very difficult, for difficult, physical challenges in their body when they give birth and things like that. So a number 18 faceted Rudraksha bead, 1 8 Rudraksha bead that works on the foundation, which is the root chakra, is excellent. It kind of strengthens the foundation, right? And it is good for many, many things for women, right? For childbirth, for any problems in the lower chakras, right? It'll heal it instantly, right? But otherwise, a lot of business people will keep something like that, an 18 facet bead, to strengthen the root chakra. Because what happens is money comes from the root chakra,
Right.
right? Money comes from the root chakra, and this is what this does. It'll open many doors, and you'll be amazed. I mean, how the energy shifts around you, right? And if you have any legal problems, any challenges, or conflicts, and things like that, they slowly start melting away. If you want to acquire more land, for someone like me who's a real estate broker, I'll be honest with you, I carry one myself too, because I
Yeah.
work with property and land. So that's just one like that. But then there are many others too. So I would definitely want your listeners who are, I mean, watching or listening to the show at this time to, look at these beads, and
That
and
would be like for myself, if I were to get these beads, like, I'd have to like, I wouldn't necessarily want 18 beads because you didn't recommend it for women. I'd have to
18,
know my
no,
number, how many I'd have, right? Like
no,
what I would need.
18 faceted, 18. For you, I'd recommend that you wear a 19 faceted bead, a 1 9, and a 19 faceted Rudraksha bead. And what that'll do, that'll work straight on your heart chakra. And that is excellent with Mercury and communication. And that is excellent with money as well, with a lot of wealth, and that opens many doors. And what happens is with that bead, right? Your thoughts are controlled, and you suddenly find that you something comes to your mind, right? And then you say, oh, I should do this, right? And those ideas that come to your mind are all the ones that will work. You see, and it works magically. And 19 is known, famous business people in India, I mean, because that one's a little expensive. If you go online and you research, there are sources that sell them, but try to get it from the authentic source, right?
Hmm.
And they are a little expensive, but they'll have huge energy, and they pretty much last for a whole lifetime, right? And you wear it around your neck, no one has to see it too, and that's it. Try it out.
Yeah.
It'll pick your chakras up, the inner light system. The chakras get aligned and vibrate at a certain frequency, right? A lot of things would just melt away, you know,
I became a
melt.
believer in chakras before I knew what they were. I mean, I had an experience in my early 20s when I started learning how to meditate and that, and I was like, what is this pressure in my chest and in my head? And, like it felt like something was spinning. And then I'd heard of chakras, but when I got my first book and read, I'm like, they're a spinning circle. That's exactly what I'm feeling. you
Yeah,
know, in my chest. I could feel something spinning here. I could feel something spinning in my throat. As I'd meditate, I'd feel these things spinning. That's before I ever knew about it. I was just doing a
oh,
regular breath meditation. That was it, and it started happening. And
yeah,
I've heard people have had bad experiences when their chakras start opening wildly and things could go weird or crazy sometimes with
yeah, yeah,
chakras. But I've
yeah.
always been intrigued by what they are and that how they affect us.
Exactly. And then, like you mentioned, paranormal activity, and then you go do your research and things like that. And if so there are certain beads like the 9, 10, and the 11 faceted bead, right? That they are worn in a combination, the number 9, 10, and 11 Rudraksha beads. So what this does is if someone's having a lot of, is disturbed and they feel that they are possessed or there's some heavy energy around them.
Yeah.
So in that case, the number 9, 10, and 11. So these three beads you can recommend to whoever wants it to, and then and let them try it, right, and then be amazed how magically they can block the any heavy vibration around their aura, right? It will block it right away.
So, um, we have the beads. I kind of get back to the patching too that you
Right.
talk about for people. You do readings in a sense for people, like when you do it, like you're getting their birthday and then you're analyzing, like, of course, their home address and I don't know if they're giving you their bank account. They got to really trust
No,
you to do
no, no
that.
bank
But
account, no, no bank
but I
account,
mean,
no security numbers,
yeah,
no.
but they give you all their different numbers in that, and you
Yes,
analyze that and you find ways to patch it.
yes, yes.
Um, so let's talk a little bit more about that before we get to our commercial break. If somebody comes to you and they're telling you they have, all this bad luck and money troubles and all this stuff, and you analyze it, what are some of the ways you help patch that? What are the things you focus on them to kind of change that energy? Because I know people that just seem like they're always down on luck. Everything's breaking down. They're
Yeah.
always out of money.
The first thing I pretty much go is I mean, look at the date of birth and we go on the chakra frequency. I have a technique by which I can do some basic clearing on a reading. I can do some basic clearing, and that's how I go first on the chakras first, right? And
Hmm.
then after that, I'll do a 5 minute clearing on the chakras, and we come back to you know, back to the basic, right? The date of birth, and you look from there, and then we look into the cycles of what cycle is running, right? What time is running, and then we look at the name vibrations, how the name is vibrating, We look at the addresses where they're living, right? And then we look at different numbers, like their phone numbers, the cars, and all numbers that surround them.
What about the other people in their life and their numbers, like their
Yes,
wife
the
or
occupants, yes,
kids?
of course. And then when you go into a patch, you have to consider all occupants of the house. You look at everybody's date of birth, everybody's numbers. So what happens is sometimes, if you say you enter a different cycle, right, which is not the best for you, but in your family, maybe it's your wife or your child, right, also has a date of birth that changes to a number, which is good for you. See, so your energy might not be holding the best, but somebody in the family has that vibration that is supporting you. See how it is? It changes like that, and it complements one another, and it keeps shifting and holding the energy. So we consider all that too, and then like I said, and sometimes people just wear wrong gemstones. They keep crystals in the house which are maybe not working for them. I had this one gal just the other day. She was married to an oil executive. And they live in this one property, and suddenly the man's been working in a oil firm for many many years as an executive, and suddenly this a young son, 24 years old, passes away, and
Oh,
the man loses his head. He leaves everything. He leaves for India. He opens a school there. Everything is tattered, right? And
yeah.
the wife's got a house now, and she's totally bundled of confusion, and it was so weird. And then she suddenly goes and she's looking for people online, and then she finds my book, gets a free copy, and then she calls me, and then she's so uncertain, oh, I've wasted my money here and there, and everybody, how it is. But things are, we could quickly, look at the numbers. And so she was living in house number 70, right, with a date of birth which was completely not in connect with that. She couldn't sleep at night and all kinds of challenges. So we shifted the whole vibe, the frequency, her name, and the home address, and then just this morning, the piece of land that she had, gotten out of her divorce, that was put on the market, and she got a whole bunch of offers. She was listing it for a lower price, and we raised the price, and she got way more than that. See, so they have to understand these numbers and these things, and wearing some, and so in her case, I suggest that you wear turquoise bracelet, right? Turquoise is a
Hmm.
great gemstone. See, turquoise can balance many energies. Turquoise by itself can balance many heavy energies, and as the house is patched and some chakra energy things are shifted, right? And she could feel it within a week, right? Something had changed. You know how it is? The patch
Yeah.
outside shifted from 70 to 702 to match her date of birth, and just that one moon with Neptune started moving everything. So yeah,
See, the way I picture it when I look at numerology, like I said, I feel like it's like coding of the universe in a sense, like by you patching it, by adding like this extra little digit to something, it's
yeah,
sending out a new code that's going to start changing different things, aspects, luck, or
yeah,
it's like communicating to the universe. Okay, we're not going this way. We're not going to let everything keep breaking down and the life falling apart. Now we're going to start going this way. The program's going to change.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe I look at everything like a computer program simulation. We're in the matrix, but that's what it reminds me of.
exactly. And I mean, if you see what's happening in the world now, see what's happening in the world.
Right.
Look at what's happening in Russia. Russia has that very heavy number 16 energy, right? President Putin, right? Putin's date of birth, his energy is very strong till his birthday, which is October, right? And after that, it's just going to go fall down. That's it. That energy is totally flat after October. And as for his President Zelensky, that's his popular name, is concerned, right? His vibe again changes more like next year. But if you see the energy of Ukraine, right? Ukraine's vibrating at a number 22, right? So number 22, many will say it's a master number, but I can tell you, I'm not very fond of having a number 22 as a name or a name for country. It never works well.
Right.
What happened in 2020? What happened? Look at China. China's energy is a number 6. It clashed with 2020, which was a number 4. So whenever 4 and 6s kind of come together and hit each other, right, be disaster everywhere, right? Now it's 2022, and then we come with Ukraine, which is a 4, right? See what happens? Huge mess, So that's how these are bigger trends, right, which have to be
Right.
watched. But now as we speak, right, because Mars kind of kicked in with the nodes changing, right, like I told you earlier, 10th and 12th, right. But this time is kind of very heavy till about the 18th of April. You know how it is. But when if a big disaster has to happen, I hope I'm completely wrong. It never happens because all
Right.
humans have to live a happy and a complete life. But in this timing, right, from now up until the 18th of this month, right, if some head of state like gets really crazy and say I'm not my grips, I'm losing my grip and this and that, and let's end this and kind of doom, something
Well,
big.
that's before, we're about ready to go to commercial break here. You're really leaving us on but that feels like what we're going through right now. We got a number of leaders in charge in this world that I feel are a little bit off the rocker, and things do feel like everybody talks about like ever since I mean for one, COVID-19, that's a number.
Yes, number.
How does that play into things? How did that play into that whole 2 years of nightmare?
Yeah, it's
Just the
COVID-19.
name COVID-19.
Yeah, exactly. So if you read my book, I've talked about COVID-19 and its energy, right? And how it just kind of Uranus energy symmetrically came in the year 2020. But COVID-19 is still strong. The vibration is strong till early 2023, right? That energy is still quite strong, and I feel that by that time, I feel that there'll be some grip on it. There'll be some grip on it, not completely, but there will definitely some grip on it.
Well, I feel like it's already coming to a close in a sense. We're all distracted now by prospects of World War III. Are the numbers kind of pointing to something like that? Like you talk about April 12th to April 18th, we could have something major happen. But numbers-wise, what's it saying for like a world war? Is there any indication? Like
yes, there is. There's a very strong indication. I mean, the number vibe is very heavy, but I'm just a human being, like all of us. We are, we're just humans, right?
You're just reading the numbers.
Yeah. I'm just like whatever little I know, right? I'm just basing it with my experience. But yes, the vibe is very heavy with so much heavy Mars energy, right? And the man who's kind of calling the shots, President Putin, and his cycle, the way it is sitting, right? And the way the energy of Ukraine is, it's not good at all. Yeah.
Numbers-wise, does it show a negative outcome for Ukraine in the end?
No, it doesn't. I mean, if Ukraine can pull this through till about Putin's date of birth, that's around October, right?
Right.
Part of this, yeah.
So, because it'll be a bad day for Putin, basically, on his birthday.
Yeah. Putin's lower chakras get affected, right? Which means, the gas, the stomach, that energy kind of kicks in, right? Health comes in, right? So there you go.
Well, they're saying there's rumors that he's in poor health, that he's dying, and that's the reason why he's doing this, partly. I don't know. I mean, they're all rumors. The media likes to talk an endum about all this stuff, and it's like, you don't even know what you're talking about. Who knows? But I'm interested in what the numbers say, because I do believe it is like the programming of the universe. It is an indicator of the energies and the flows and the simulation that we're in. I sometimes think, it's like when Neo looks in the Matrix and he sees the scrolling program code going by. I feel like that's what's going on. It's like all the numbers influencing everything from the planets. That I don't know if things are predetermined. I don't think they are. I hope we can change things, but I feel like the energy of 2022 is not much better than energy of 2020. Like we're still not out of the woods yet. Like ever since, I mean, even since 2000, I feel like the energy for me, what I thought was like a big energy shift was 2016, and then like things just shifted weirdly. I could feel it that year, from 2015 to 2016, I felt like things were really changing, shifting weird. And then Trump got elected. The Cubs won the World Series. I was a Cubs fan. Like things really started to get weird. And then it just got, every year has been weirder and crappier ever since. Is there like a shift change where we kind of get back to normal? Or is it?
Now it's heavy, the way things are moving right. I'd say it's pretty heavy for the next 12 to 18 months, and
12 to 18 months.
Now. It has all started now. Okay, it started.
Yeah,
now.
If like I said, it feels like we've been building up to something every day, and like the media loves it. It's great for ratings. Every little scary headline they can throw out there at us. Doomed. We're doomed. End of the world. I feel like it's the media feeds off of fear. But if you talk to people every day, and I do, and everybody says to me they feel like things are weird or different, or the energy's weird, and a lot of people. It is heavy energy. You can see it. I think everybody can kind of feel the heaviness, and it's not just from what they hear on the headlines. It's an energy that's out there.
Absolutely. But as you were talking, I was calculating your name number, the full thing, Jason Bland, and it adds up to a number 32, which is Mercury, number 5, which is your number. So that is really good.
So I got a good name?
Excellent name. Excellent. It's a number 32 using Chaldean code. Excellent for communication. Excellent. And then To reinforce again what I told you earlier, the number 5, right, is what you need here. Heart chakra.
Heart chakra,
Yeah.
5. Okay, so number 32, 1 and 5. I've been taking notes, and I want to get your book so I can better understand
Yeah.
this too. And I was on vacation in Florida. That's one of the reasons I didn't get your book before the show. I totally slipped my mind. I thought I had a copy. I thought I got a copy of the book. A lot of times I do, and I was looking all over this week for it. I'm like, I could have swore I'd seen your book. By the way, Rob, if you can open up the Dropbox, there is a picture of his book. I do want people to see the copy of the book, at least when we come back from commercial break. But I really want to read it. I've tried to always understand numerology, but you, like you said, your book's not going to teach you how to do it, really, though, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
teach you.
Yeah, it's a little, it requires a little more than that, you know. It's a little more than what is needed to read the information right on the pie.
All right, we'll get into more of that. We're going to go to commercial break, and we'll open up the phone lines when we come back. Call in with your questions. Now, if anybody calls in and they start trying to give you their birthday, you're not going to do like you can give them a little bit of information if they give
Yeah, a
you
little
their
bit,
birthday?
yeah.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basic,
Yeah, we
numbers.
give callers about 5 to 8 minutes, you know, just that amount of time for you to give them a little bit of information.
Yeah, they're most welcome. Yeah, most welcome.
All right, awesome. All right, guys, we will open up the phone lines when we come back from the short commercial break.
He is conducting an experiment into the combined effects of sensory deprivation and hallucinatory drugs. The subject of the experiment is himself, and the experiment is out of control. Ken Russell's Altered States, a film that must not be missed, is in the West End now. Altered States, Certificate X.
Do you wish for more paranormal and spiritual content? The Paranormal Chronicles magazine is a free digital magazine crammed with the very best in paranormal and spiritual articles and features. No sign-up, no subscription, just free reading and knowledge for you. Read today at www.paranormalchronicles.com/magazine.
Oh, come on. I'm Southern, but... nope.
That'll do. Hello. I am Kat Hobson, host of Paranormal Experience here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. I enjoy having guests from all areas of the paranormal, from ghosts to ufology to cryptids and beyond. You'll find some of the best researchers in their fields bringing you some great information. Join me on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10 p. Eastern here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Paranation Magazine is a new paranormal magazine based out of Denver, Colorado. Our goal isn't just to give you the best paranormal content out there, but to promote paranormal unity. We're doing this by giving everyone an opportunity to tell their stories and to share their experiences. For more information, follow us on Facebook at Paranation Magazine and soon, paranationmag.com.
I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is the extraordinary travels of a young, alone, and broke psychic in the highly anticipated new book from internationally renowned psychic, medium, medical intuitive, and best-selling author Sherry Dillard. Critics have described I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like as an engrossing memoir, an empowering story of how a broken girl came to accept her psychic gift. A refreshing and fun read, I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is available through Amazon, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, and wherever books are sold.
Edgar Allan Poe wrote Spirits of the Dead with a pen dipped in warm blood. You will see the ultimate in terror with this important all-star cast. Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda in Edgar Allan Poe's Spirits of the Dead. Only Poe's demented genius could bring to the screen such horror and evil. Spirits of the Dead stars Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda. Directed by three masters of the cinema, Federico Fellini, Louis Malle, and Roger Vadim. Spirits of the Dead is an adventure in terror beyond your wildest nightmares. Spirits of the Dead in color is rated R.
The answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything is 42. Yes, I thought it over quite thoroughly. It is, it's 42. It would have been simpler, of course, to have known what the actual question was.
But it was the question. The ultimate question. Of everything.
That's not a question. Only when you know the question will you know what the answer means.
You're listening to Paranormal Soup, bringing you the weird every Sunday night. Call into the show and join the discussion. The call-in lines are 219-230-4444 or 260-225-9419 or by Skype caller ID OOJBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup. And now to your host, Jason Bland.
Tonight's guest is Jesse Kalsi. He's an astronumerologist. He's the author of All About the Numbers, Attract Luck, Abundance, and Joy Based on Your Numbers. And tonight, you can call in just a little, we can't give you like his full reading or anything like that, but you can give him your birthday and tell him, what are you looking for to change? Would you be willing to change your first name? He tells you your name's bad? I don't know. You can, I don't know if he needs your last name. We'll find out from that. But you're definitely going to have to give him your birthday and ask a question. Maybe he can help you out. Maybe luck's been going bad. I know for me right now, like I said, I came home from our vacation. Like every light bulb, every appliance in this house is on the verge of breaking down or breaking down. So I believe in these numbers and energy and how things affect. You know it. You can feel when things are flowing a certain way. It's an energy. And I've always been fascinated how numbers and numerology play into this. And that's what we're talking about tonight. We've got a lot to get to, so let's go ahead and get back to our guest. All right, let me make sure. Yep, we should be. Phone lines are open. You can call into the show, join the conversation. Like I said, Jesse can tell you a little bit about your numbers when you call in tonight, so take that opportunity. But let's go ahead and get back to Jesse. I think I had him muted here. There we go. Welcome back to the show, Jesse.
Oh, I'm back here?
Yes, you are back. I'll get your book up here. This is his book, All About the Numbers. Attract Luck, Abundance, and Joy Based on Your Numbers. So you said this is your second book. What's your first book?
The first book was titled The Power of Home Numbers.
of whole numbers.
Yeah, homes only because
home numbers.
Homes, yeah, only homes and.
But being a real estate agent, I'm sure that applies a lot to your work.
Absolutely right. Yeah, that's exactly how it went. Yes.
It's actually something I always wanted to get into. I love homes. Like I would be so happy, like just getting to see little homes, big homes. I like just seeing different houses. I've always been that way. I drive by houses like, oh, I'd love to see that one. Oh, I'd love to see that one. And they don't have to even be a super fancy home for me to be interested in it. But I've never been able to do it. I've never been able to pull the trigger and go to school or for real estate because it's like I'm the main breadwinner here, and it's a lot of financial investment to get started.
But I can tell you something, with my experience, Jason, I've seen people who've been living in smaller places, smaller homes, and they were very successful there. They were financially very successful and happy, but not realizing that those numbers were working for them. And then suddenly, when they made a few pennies, right, they said, "Oh, this place is too small.
I'm gonna get a new place, right?
Yeah, a new place." And the new place was always, went the other way, right? And they wonder, right? Oh my God, what happened? All this money is, So I've seen this a lot, right? So you have to be very, very cautious. Home change.
Well, I know it as a paranormal investigator just from places I've investigated. Like I can think of a mansion out here. I don't know if I should say which one, but it's out in the county I live in. We investigated several times, and the story behind that is that this guy's very, this is early 1900s, very rich, financial, successful, builds his home, and he's just cursed. Like everything goes to crap, and there's a lot of that. A lot of haunted locations, old mansions where some rich guy built it. He got the money. He was probably living at the right number, right address, and then he goes and builds this super mansion.
Yeah.
And it's like cursed. It's like that Stephen King series or book, and it was like a mini series, Rose Red or whatever. It's like you're cursed once you built this. You finally get the money and you build super mega mansion, and it's your worst luck.
Yeah, happens all the time. Absolutely true. Happens all the time. I've seen it many, many times.
They just need to get you as a real estate agent.
No, I don't. No. If you
I
say,
know.
for example, if you come to me and tell me, "Hey, Jesse, why don't you help me buy a house?" No, I won't do that because you see, I can't.
I'd want you to, though. I'd want you to. Like, please, no, let me know. I don't want to buy this if it's going to be a bunch of bad luck.
If you ask me, I'll give you my thought. Definitely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes or no? I will. Absolutely will.
But I mean, as a real estate agent, you've probably seen somebody like you're like they don't want to know, they don't ask, and so you can't say. But you're thinking, oh, this is going to be bad for you.
Some people, I've had many times, these, the realtors will call me and the agents there, and so this client has to ask you, he will only buy if you tell him. And so this happened often, right? When this guy is calling me, and I say, "Hey, listen, this number will not work for you. Will not work for you." Then the realtor's calling me back, "Hey, Jesse, but what if we do?" I said, "Listen, I told you it's not going to work for you. I don't want any referral from you, nothing from you, but it will not work for you, So he gets the message, right? I said, nothing is going to work. It's no is no. That's it. So that's
it does. I mean, there's countless paranormal historical stories of this happening to very rich people. Maybe they're just desserts. I don't know, but it does seem like it's. I mean, even Stephen King covered it. You know what I'm saying? Like, build a mansion and you're cursed. It's usually because they built it on Indian burial ground or something like that. But it could be the address. All right, we got Zach.
Makes a lot of sense with the address.
It does. It does. We got Zach on the phone line. How you doing tonight, Zach?
I'm doing pretty good, brother. How was your vacation?
It was awesome. It was, we have not had a family vacation ever. Like we've never, Dean's 10 and we went on like a weekend trip. It's the closest we ever did. We just kept, we were supposed to go 2 years ago and COVID happened. So now we went and everybody else went. Everybody else was down in Florida because they didn't go 2 years ago. That's what it felt like. But it was awesome. It was awesome to meet Rob and do the St. Augustine trip.
I know Rob is great to hang out with, man. I'll definitely have to do it again next time I'm over there in St. Augustine.
Yeah.
I heard
it's such a beautiful
town, but
it's a beautiful town too, man. I can't wait to try to go back there. I hope we do. All right, Zach. So what are we calling in for? You want to give him your birth date and see what he says? Tells you to change your name from Zach.
That'll be my second question. I actually have two questions. I'll keep it shorter.
You go for it, man.
All right. All right. Hey, Jesse. Very nice to meet you, sir. So I have to admit, when it comes to numbers, it all flies over my head and all that stuff because I was never really good at math and all that.
Same.
The one thing So when I was thinking about numbers, I always think of like the number 666 as associated with the devil. My question is,
Why would you think that? I mean,
I have really no idea. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm like, my question to you, Jesse, is what is your interpretation on how they came up with those numbers, and really how did they come up with those numbers?
You mean how numbers were born?
No, I think he's asking why did 666?
Why
Does
is it
that
so
have
heavy,
any special meaning, or why is that
See,
the
what
bad?
happens is, see, planetary energy. So Venus reading 3 times. 666 repeats 3 times, and then if you add them together, six times 3 is a number 18. To it looks like that. See, so whenever a number 18 shows up with Sun and Saturn combined, right, it's always a difficult place. Now 666. See, a 666. I've seen places where people had only 2 6s, not even 3, but 2 6s. Were just murdered. I had this one Bollywood star, actually, a young man, very promising. Made some wrong moves. His story is in this book too here, but he had 2 6s. But your question to numbers 3 6s is also mentioned in the Bible, right? And but going down to what I know, Venus 3 times is too much Mars, and it's not a good place to be. I mean, that's what I know of numbers and planetary energy.
Okay. All right. And I guess I guess I can give my birthday and all that and just
Yeah,
see.
give me your birthday and
I'm really.
give me your... Yes.
I'm sorry. What was the second? What was the second part? I couldn't hear that.
No, I'm ready for your question. So, what's your birthday?
My birthday is May 22nd, 1989.
Okay, so May 22nd. All right. And what is the number outside your house, Zach?
I'm sorry. What is
your home number outside your house?
2718.
Okay, so 2718. So we got May 22. So May to June is Gemini. And we're just entering the Gemini, so there's Mercury 522. So what is happening is, so 22, May 22, with this date of birth, got, so that's got Sun and Neptune, which makes you quite intuitive, So your inner call is really good, which is a number 1 and a number 7. These are numbers that surround you. The number 1 are your best numbers. Now, your date of birth has a lot of Mars energy, which is really, which is very strong. Okay, but your home number 2718 has got Moon and Neptune. See, now this one here, so this number, I've got too much Mars now. We got 1 and 8, right, breaking up here. 1 and 8 to the end of it, and 2 and 7 at the beginning of it. This is a heavy address. So how long have you been here?
Off and on for about 23 years.
Yeah, no, this is not the best number for you. What I'd suggest is, what you could do, you can patch this place using a number 1, which is one of your best numbers. So if you use a number 1 in the beginning, so a number 1 before the 2, which is Moon, so 12718. So patch this house to shift the vibration to flow better with you. Don't stay here for a long extended period of time. It's a heavy energy. So when you're not here, what happens is this place is vacant or is rented?
Renting.
He said he's renting. You can cut out a little bit.
It's rented. That's good. See, even the renters are having a difficult time here. A place like this can have things like cuts, injuries, accidents, family quarrel, sometimes surgery, and a whole bunch of stuff. It's heavy energy depending on the date of birth, but this is a heavy address. And for you, wherever you live, right? See, the rising sun is very important for you. So your main door should be facing the rising sun, right, all the time. That'll be really good for you. And then for a cycle, so 1989 to now would be, so 1 is 90 plus 10 is 2000 plus 22 now, so that makes it 33. And enter your Neptune. So what's coming is very good now. So after May 22, your vibe's going to be really good.
Great, cool. Well, I needed to know. Thank you so much for taking a look over my numbers and all that and answering my question, man. Love hearing everything you're saying.
Okay, you're most welcome.
Thank you, Zach.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.
You too. Trying. I just realized I got a new phone for this. I'm trying to. One of the phone lines, I think the OOJ Bland OO Skype ID might have an issue calling in tonight, but other phone lines should be open. The Paranormal Soup J Bland should be open, right? Let me make sure. Yeah, because that was Zach on Skype, so that's open. I think that was the Paranormal Soup J Bland one he called in. Oh no, I can't see. So I got one. Just trying to fix a phone line here, real quick. Let me see. Which one is this? This is the. Oh, that's right, because that's the wrong one. Okay, that's not the right one. Okay, that's right. All right. So phone lines are open. Call in. Now, what with going on? We're talking about Ukraine and Putin and all that stuff in the world. What do you see like for Biden, like with his?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. So, Jason, I've talked about President Biden and his numbers in my book as well. So now President Biden also is not in the right energy. So he turned 79 last year on November the 20th, and now he is in his 80th year. So what happens is, principally in numerology, right, when number 2 and number 8, they come in a cycle, right? It's not a good time. It can suddenly bring health challenges. It's like you suddenly lose your position, things like that. And that is exactly what is happening in his case as we move forward, right? So
Right.
President Biden has to be very, very careful, very cautious up until his birthday, which is November the 20th. But that vibe is kind of now it started intensifying. It's getting stronger and stronger. Yes.
So he, I personally feel, I don't know if his numbers say it, I don't feel like he's going to make it to, and I think I'm not alone in this. I don't think he's going to make it to the 2024 election.
No, that is for sure. He's the
Really?
president of our country, man. We want the best for the president, but the way this energy is placed now, right? I'm not going that far, 2024. I'm just talking about this
Yeah.
year now.
Yeah, I know.
Now. Be very, very careful. Very careful. We had a chief minister in a northeastern state of India. He's a Maharaja, he's a big king, a ruler of that, palaces and ruled that land. And then they won those elections there for years and years. People just vote for them blindly. He got into
Yeah.
a similar cycle this last year, and he was suddenly gone. He lost his chair mysteriously, right? Exactly same cycle, and that was it. So what do you do? Lost, gone. So yeah.
It does seem like these things run in cycles. Sorry, I got a phone call trying to come in here. I'm trying to see if I can get him back, 'cause I don't know why it hung up on him. But it does seem like these things do go in cycles, and that definitely has to apply to the numbers and the planetary effects on people. So, like for Biden, he has to be very careful up to his birthday. So, I feel like that's not going to happen. They haven't been very good at a lot of things. I'm not getting political. I'm just saying there's been a lot of mess ups and a lot of gaffes on Biden's end. But he's also, he's going to turn 79. He's going to be the oldest president we've ever had.
He's now in his 80th year. Yeah.
He'll be hitting his 80th. Yeah. So, I just don't think it's very good for our country. We got somebody else on the phone line here. We got 856 area code. Who do we got?
It's me, Jason.
Hey, is this, go ahead.
It's D.
D, I thought so. Hey, D.
How are you?
Doing good. How you been?
Hanging in. I'm getting the ultrasound I just got read, but I'm going to get an MRI done on April 19th. So
There's a date.
Yes.
So maybe he can tell you if that's a good date or if you're gonna have to change your date. I don't know. But you are on with Jesse.
All right. So D, what?
Oh,
so
that's his name?
Jesse. Yep.
I thought his name was Mike.
I don't know where you got the mic from. No, it's Jesse.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if Jesse could find out, because my birthday's Wednesday, if I give him the birth date and the time I was born, would he be able to
I think it
tell
just
me
needs your birth
anything?
date.
Yeah, just give me your birthday. Just give me
4/6.
your day and the month. Yeah. What's your birthday?
4/6/67, and I was born 6:20 at night on a Thursday.
So April the 6th, huh?
Happy upcoming birthday, by the way.
Thank you, and I'll be home alone celebrating with nobody, except at my doctor's in the morning, so I'll be happy with that.
So you said the 19th of April.
That's when her
Monday,
doctor's
April
appointment is.
2022. So, yeah, so we got moon energy. So moon. So what happens is April the 6th, and moon energy. The good thing it is not the 18th; it's the 19th, which is much better. 19th is much better, and uh, and 19th is what day is it? 19th. Let me see. Is it? Would you know what day it is? On the 19th of April?
For your
Oh,
doctor's
wait a
appointment.
minute. It's in my book. That's on Tuesday, the day after Monday.
Oh, Monday.
It's
Okay.
after Easter.
Monday. Okay. Yeah, Monday and the 19th. So
No,
I
it's
won't worry about it that much.
Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesdays. I mean, I wouldn't worry about it that much. You'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just hoping they find something.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's more towards the end of Mars energy, right? Which is really good. You know, it's after the 18th, so I know I feel that energy is better for that kind of examination. So okay.
So they would actually find out what's going on with that test.
Yeah, I'm sure the doctors would definitely go. So what is the number outside your house? Could you give me that?
738. My number on my door is 738.
Yeah.
I lived here all my life since I was born.
Oh,
Yeah, so this number 738 is a heavy number. This number is what brings in all these medical conditions. So let me see, 738 with what I would do is, I would use a number 6, a Venus energy number 6, and I would use a small number 6 in the end. So make it 738 and a 6,
So
which is
will you tell her is to like actually put like a sticker of a 6 like just like next to it, like
Yes, a small sticker which is smaller than the existing numbers, yellow or gold color, so that we don't confuse the mailman, but we shift the energy, right? So
Okay.
that number 6, will shift the energy, bring in more Venus vibe, and that'll be good for Venus's love and this relationship, and so this energy as we speak now, this has blocked a lot of this of what you were wanting in your life, right? Has been blocked by this number, but that number 6 as a patch would open it up.
Okay.
All right.
Well, Dee,
Okay.
you have a happy birthday coming up here, okay?
Thank you, Jason.
All right. You have a great night,
And-
and good luck on the test.
Good luck on your appointment,
Thank-
sweetheart.
Yeah.
Thank you. I miss all of you very much. It's been heck of a few months. And April Fool's Day, I had a blast. I played lots of jokes on my doctors Wednesday and Friday, and then I had that for sale sign outside my house. It got backfired. I had people knocking on my
So you're
door
one of those
wanting to
people.
buy
You're
stuff
one of those
and for
people.
me to sell
You're
my
one of those
own.
people that go nuts on April 1st. See, I can't stand April Fool's Day. I'm one of those people that just cannot stand it because I just don't like the practice. Like, I'm one of those people that falls for the joke. I'm like, okay, thanks. Yeah. I've never been a fan. Even since I was a kid, I hated April Fool's Day.
It was a blast. And my neighbor was doing the mummer strut outside my door. He was all excited, saying she's finally moving. And he's only lived here next door for about 8 years. I lived here all my life, and he was jumping up for joy. It was funny. We all needed that big laugh. Had
Yeah, you do. You
everybody
deserve
involved
that
in
April
it.
Fool's Day then. All right, Dee. You have a great night.
Oh, you too, and bless you, everybody.
All right, hon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We were talking about the number 6, and I was telling people at the beginning of the show we had a nightmare hotel situation, and maybe I should have paid attention to the numbers more, like the rating of the hotel. But it was a nightmare hotel. It was called the Stayable in St. Augustine. It was the Unstayable. We were literally in the room for 5 minutes. It was number 6. Was the name? It was room 6. And we opened the door, and my son goes, either somebody died in here or it smells like dirty underwear. I don't know. And I'm like, don't sit your stuff down, kids. Hold on. Mommy and Daddy got to talk here. We're going to try to find a different hotel. I was like, I wasn't prepared. Like, I was waiting in the waiting room, and I knew I was in trouble when there was 3 different people waiting to try to change rooms because the rooms were so bad. I'm like, oh, man, what did I do? But, yeah, it was room number 6. I think all the rooms would have been bad, but Do you, like, when you book a hotel, like, try to get a certain number room?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do, right? And I do that. But coming back to number six, see, six is a lot of Venus energy, and and what Venus does is right, it does attract a lot of that kind of activity that you mentioned,
Yeah.
so, and you sense it very quickly, so which is really good, and that was really good. But I absolutely do. I
We
might.
smelled it really quickly, to be honest.
Yeah, that was really good that you got out of that place. Yeah, that was really good. But I do. I'm very cautious. I'm more with the name of the hotel and the address and all that, and then that's how I go in. But
It's
I'm not.
stayable.
Yeah,
It was not
I'm not very
stayable.
fond of hotels. Really, they make me uncomfortable. I don't know why.
Oh,
I just
well, I mean,
feel
sleeping
uneasy.
in beds that other people slept in is already an uncomfortable experience
Yeah,
to me.
exactly, exactly.
And this one felt like if we stayed, we might get murdered. That's how this one felt. We got somebody else on the line. I called them back because they called in. We lost them. We got 519 area code. Who do we got? Are you there? 519. Well, it might not be your area code. Sometimes it gives me weird area codes. But if you're on the phone, say hi. Hello? Says I got a connection. Says they're there. Anybody on the phone? You there? All right, going once. Going twice. 519. Anyone there? Might not be the right area code. Sometimes it does that. If you're on the phone, say something. No? Okay. I'll hang up. Called them back because they called me and then I dropped it. I'm trying to get the other Skype line up, and I was in the middle of that when they called. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a nightmare hotel, and I don't know. I think any room number I would have got would have been bad, but I always think of most hotels, at least back in the day, if they had 13 floors or more, it was never floor 13. It was floor 14, like 1408 from another Stephen King reference.
That's true.
Is there something to like a building if they actually do name it, name a floor 13 that it will be bad luck?
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you go in countries like India and China, they don't have a 13th floor.
Right,
They
exactly.
don't. Yeah, they don't.
But I mean, have you seen anywhere that has had a 13th floor?
Not really, no. But just from the number part of it, right? The one and the three, right? So one and three is Sun and Jupiter energy, and Sun and Jupiter are both very powerful planets, and they together are like two captains in one ship. So they're like always kind of colliding energy. That's how they go. See, that energy will work. 13 will work for you. You know, a room number 13, say for example, if you have a lot of Sun energy, if you have very strong Sun data, maybe it might work with you, Jason. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
13 shouldn't bother you at all. But you have a lot of ones around you, and then
So I could have a lucky number 13.
yeah, oh, you can. It'll work with you. Absolutely, it'll work with you.
Yeah. Let's get Rob in here, man, and Jamie. Rob, you go first. Give Rob. Rob's gonna give his birthday here. Let's learn a little bit about Rob.
I was born January 13th, 1964. Speaking of 13.
Yeah. So January 13, 1964, and so Rob, what's the number outside your house?
1021.
So 1021. So yes, there's a lot of Uranus energy there. So January the 13th. So it's very interesting. January 13th is much like what Jason has. You got Sun and Mercury too, which is the number 1 and the number 5. So same numbers. And then so house number, you go 1, 2 ones, and then 0, 2, 1 in the middle. And this house actually needs to be patched. So we can use another 1 here to shift this vibe. But that 1 should not be together. It should be 1, 0, 1, 2, 1. It should not be 1, 1 or 1 in the end. Ones always are not good together, but they're broken up. They're good. So if you go 101, 21, will definitely shift. The reason being that the period of January has a lot of Capricorn energy, and Capricorn is ruled by planet Saturn, which is a number 8. And Mercury, I'm sorry, Saturn balances well with Mercury, which is a number 5. So that would be really good. And then for you, I say, both stones, a ruby would work really well for you. Ruby and gold in a ring, or an emerald as well. So both would work really well for you. So 1964 from now is, so that'd be 33 and 34, so 7. So there's a lot of, so strong Neptune is the intuition is really good. Inner calling is really, really strong. And cycle now, so 64 to now would be 64, 6 would be 70 and 30, and then 22 this year will make it 52 and 58, and then into the Mercury year, which is good actually. Timing as we move into your after your birthday is very good for you.
Cool.
All right, Jamie, your turn.
Thank you.
Sure.
When you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready, Jerry. Go ahead.
Okay. My birth date is 5/6/77.
Okay, 5. So that's May the 6th. Okay. 19. Okay.
And
The
the number is 2463.
okay, 2 4. So 2463. Okay, so 5 6 is May the 6th. So May the 6th, that's kind of Taurus energy. Taurus is ruled by Mercury, and May the 6th is Jupiter and Venus. So threes and sixes are your strong numbers. Threes and sixes. So 5 6 99 1977. So that'll be 24 30 and 35. So Saturn. So we got some Saturn energy on your life path. But that Saturn energy is okay with the month of May because Mercury and Saturn kind of go together. But sometimes you have to watch the lower chakras, the stomach down to the feet, right? The digestion and down to the feet will sometimes get affected in the cycle. 1977 to now would be 80 plus 20 plus 22 coming up. That'd be 45. No, no, sorry, yeah. So getting into your sun year, but so what happens is sun, yeah. So number one and number six. So sun and Venus sometimes kind of collide a little bit, and home number is very good. How long have you lived here, Jamie?
Yeah.
How long have you been here?
This is actually the house that I grew up in as a kid, and then I just came back here for a couple of years before I figure out what I'm doing next.
Yeah, this number is very good for you, very very good for you, you know. And so what it is saying is, what I pick up is place some weight, something heavy, like a safe, something like a heavy safe or a picture of two pillars in the southwest direction of the house, which means the wall of the southwest, right? Or put some weight there to kind of
There is actually, I don't want to say too much, but
Right.
There is weight there. Okay, good. All right, excellent. That's really good. That's really good. I like it. And
awesome.
yeah. I like it. And then gemstones are at 3 6. I'd say a turquoise would be good for you, but turquoise or yellow sapphire would work. Diamonds would work too. All good for you.
Or yellow
It's ki-
sapphire.
Yeah, yellow sapphire. And yellow sapphire is typically traditionally worn. It's worn on your right pointer finger, and it represents the planet Jupiter, and it's always worn in gold. You know, that's how
Okay.
you wear it. Yeah, you wear it. And or even if you wear some gold around you, like a gold necklace all the time, right? Gold necklace or a little bit of gold around you, and that
Okay.
gold also represents the energy of Jupiter. That's also really good. I've seen a lot of people with this kind of energy. They'll wear a gold chain with that little a gold key. The golden key. That
Yeah.
yeah, they wear a gold chain with a golden key all the time. Opens many doors, many doors.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I have I have something already like that.
there you go. See, so you already know what it is, and that's wonderful. Otherwise, you get strong numbers. Strong.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're most welcome.
I saw this in the chat room earlier. I wanted to bring this up. I thought it was Tommy you were bringing this up because it happened right before the show. I looked at the clock. I'm like, oh, at 11:11. Like people look at the clock and they see 111, 11:11, 1212. Is there any meaning when people seem to like suddenly look at the clock and it's these numbers? It's always like you get called to look and oh yeah, it's 111.
Yeah. I mean, see, I look at them in a different perspective completely, right? So if I see a lot of 111 with my 3 and 6, that would not mean would mean that be cautious or watch something or something like that. But if I see like 1212, right, or if Jamie sees 1212, it'll be different. That's more positive, right? So whatever you see has to flow with your basic energy, to know, oh, this is good or this is not good. So I look at it like that.
So they're like, it depends on the person what the numbers mean. Like
Yes,
if
yes.
it's but it is like a message, like a
It is a
synchronistic message.
yes, but it has to match your energy for a yes or a no.
I saw the 519 number call in and it hanged up right away again. Try again. I don't want to try calling you back because I didn't get any audio when we did. I don't know who it is. Or maybe try a different number. I don't know. Rob, do you have your phone number available?
I can try and pull it up here. My Skype was freaking out
Yeah,
earlier.
I just got the Jay Bland Paranormal Soup Skype working. I just got that signed in. I didn't realize that was signed in. So if you tried calling in, sorry, Jay Bland Paranormal Soup Skype ID is available. It's JBLAND Paranormal Soup. And there's also the OOJBLAND00 or OOJ Bland 00 Skype ID you can call in. And then 219-230-4444 is the number I keep seeing this guy call in or whoever this is, and it hangs up on him. So there's also, I always forget to put the phone numbers up here. There's also the 260-225-9419 number you can try to call in as well. But the phone lines are open. We'll be going to our other commercial break in about 25 minutes, and then we'll come back. We'll still have some more time for phone calls. I was wondering too. You talked about significant others, and if I gave you my wife and my kids' birthdays, could you be able to tell me how that impacts?
Absolutely, yeah. If you have their permission, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, oh yeah. My wife wanted to know. She wanted to stay up for this, but she's got to get up to kids' school tomorrow. Usually that's me.
Absolutely, yes.
So my wife is 10/14/1979.
Okay. So let's look at your numbers here first. Okay, so we had, well, that was a caller, and then we had D, and then we had Rob, and then we had Jamie, and then, okay, so let's go back on another page here, and, okay, so Justin, give me your date of birth again, please, one more time.
June 10th, 1979 is mine.
June 10, 1979 is Jason, and then those numbers.
With 10/14/1979 is my wife.
Yeah. Just a moment, we look at your numbers. June the 10th was, yeah, so we had Sun and Mercury for you. Okay, and then your wife again, please.
10/14/1979.
So October the 14th, 1979. So October the 14th, that one. So 1979, and October 14th, 1979 is 5 plus 1 is 6, and 5. So very strong numbers. The numbers are really strong. And Mercury and Venus. Mercury and Venus is really strong.
Well, she's a really strong woman.
But she's lucky too, I can tell you that. She's very lucky. Very lucky.
Well, maybe she should be the one playing the lotto. She makes me.
Yeah, she should. Yeah, you're right. She should.
I'm going to tell her that.
Yeah. Very strong numbers. 5. So Mercury and Venus, right, was again, was very good numbers. 1979. And then who else, Jason?
Then you have 9/30/11, which is my oldest.
9 is September the 30th, 11. Okay. 2011. So September the 30th, 2011 is so September the 30th. Is also the 3 and plus 3 is 6, so 3 and 6. So we got Jupiter and Venus, so 3 and 6, okay. So that's compatible with the mother. Okay, and who else?
And then 1/29/16.
So January 29 and 16. So Jan 29, Jan is 7 minus 2 is 5, 5 and 7. So 5 and 7 is very intuitive. That's a very strong combination too.
Oh, that makes sense.
Very intuitive. 5 and 7 is very
That's
good.
my youngest.
Yeah.
He is very intuitive.
Listen to him. So if he suddenly gets up, say something, or listen to him. So listen to him. So
he's the one that told my wife that. See, my youngest when I was getting almost, it was like a week before we got married. I was at my parents' house, and I know everybody's heard this story on the show, but I saw a translucent child, he looked about 9 or 10 years old, walk up to me in the broad daylight at my parents' house, which is not haunted, and I didn't feel scared. All I felt was immense love, and it was just incredible moment. I saw him, he smiled at me, and that was it. And then many years later, 2016, Liam, my youngest son, is born. And when they took him and put him up to my wife, he put his head up there, and I actually got a picture of this. He smiled. And that smile, I knew right then was that child I saw. I knew, just gut down on my, that somehow I saw him before he was born. And he, later on, when he was like 3 years old, told my wife, he's like, I chose you, and Daddy, I chose you.
Yeah,
You
he
know?
connects with you really well. He connects with you and you both the parents really well, really well.
I don't know. He feels like he butts heads with my wife more than me all the time. Like I feel like I'm gonna, like those two are gonna be arguing for a long time.
Yeah. No, but he still connects with you. But listen to him. I mean, you're already so intuitive, but definitely, I think uh, he is very intuitive, right? I wouldn't say the most one, but he is actually really up there. Knows a lot of stuff. Yeah.
He does. Oh yeah, he does seem to know a lot of stuff. He does seem very intuitive, and like I said, he told my wife he chose us, and I know that because it's like he came to me. It was right before we got married, and I saw him. And when people talk about reincarnation and that we choose our parents and all that, I'm a total believer after that. Total believer.
Absolutely. So now, see, all date of births, all the numbers are very strong. They're all good numbers, all compatible. They're really good. Now, for the youngest child, I say numbers most strong is 7, which means a cat's eye. So get him a cat's eye or show him a cat's eye like a bracelet or something, right? That would be very good for him. And
A cat's eye, like the stone.
yeah, a cat's eye, stone.
Like tiger's
My
eye.
wife probably.
Yeah. A cat's
Is
eye.
it tiger's eye? Because I
Oh,
have
tax
that. I
eye.
used.
Yeah. Tax eye.
Yeah,
That
same.
energy. Yeah. Would be really good for him, like a little something around his wrist or around the neck. He'll pick it up. And then for the second child, I'd say more Venus energy. So turquoise would be really good too, you know. And then for your wife, so your wife has very strong numbers, and so Mercury and Venus, right? And Mercury and Venus is maybe she could wear an emerald with diamonds around it, something like that.
Oh, now you're gonna get me.
Yeah.
She's like, sure, go get me that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, or a strong Rudraksh bead, and then yours we already talked about an emerald for you. So let's go back to your home number. Could you give it to me again, please? Your home number.
Yes, 714.
So 714. So 714. So we have sevens here with the youngest child. We have a number 1 with Jason here, and we have 4, which kind of complements the 1 and the 7 both, so they all work together. But then this energy, 714 can shift better with more moon energy. It can pick up moon, or it can. So we got Venus as well. It can pick up moon, or it can pick up Jupiter. So there has Jupiter's with the second child. So Jupiter has to come in the beginning, which is a 3714. So 3714 with so much Venus energy would be a better patch, I think. So a number 3 sticker with Jupiter, which is the largest planet, preferably yellow or golden color, would work really well.
Like on the house?
Yeah, on the numbers of the house, yeah.
A yellow gold sticker of the number 3.
Yeah.
Now, would this make a difference? We don't hardly use our front door. Hardly ever.
What is the direction your main door is facing?
I gotta think about this. Let's see. So it's north. It's facing maybe. Let's see. The streets that way. Somewhat north.
Yeah, that's good though. So that's somewhat northeast is a good direction to have. But
my wife knows better than me. I'm so not the directional person.
but I suggest use. I see 3 is Jupiter is the largest planet, right? And it'll definitely shift some energy on those numbers outside. It'll shift it. And you'll know it. And when you're patching the number, have the youngest kid with you, right? And see how he feels with it, right? Have him stand there. Then observe him and see what he says. But 3
Yeah.
would be really good. Yeah.
Anything to help the youngest one poop on the potty would be great. That's my problem. I'm gonna try to call. This person keeps trying to call in. He keeps hanging up on him. I'm gonna try him again too and see if we can get them. But yeah,
I
you
wanted
said
to bring
cat.
something up too
Yeah, go
about the
ahead.
gems. For the kids too, you can get these stretchy bracelets like this, really
Let me show you.
inexpensive
Yeah.
online with tiger's
Yeah.
eye or
Of
whatever,
course.
and the
Yeah.
boys can wear these.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's very popular these days. You're right. Yeah, people wear them. The young people and people wear them a lot. Yeah.
All right, let me see if I can get this person on the line. All right, last time it didn't work. We'll try.
Hi.
Hi, I hear you.
Good. How are you doing?
Hey, who do we got on the line? I know this voice.
Hello?
Hello, I hear you. You hear me? Oh, now he can't hear me. Last time.
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me.
Hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Who do we got on the line?
It's Bill.
Bill. So you and Al have very similar voices. I'm always like, is it Bill or is it Al?
Myself and Al?
Yeah, Al from Korea. Yeah, when he calls in, you guys have very similar voices.
I'm not from Korea.
I know you're not. I know. I always have to go. Is this Bill or Al when you call in?
I'm the guy that sent you that Canadian $10
yes, the
bill.
Canadian dollars. So how you doing, Bill?
I'm good. So, Jesse,
Yes.
how are you doing?
Very well, very well. Thank you, Bill. Thank you for calling, yeah.
Yes. Okay, I am June the 19th, 1962.
Well, June the 19th, okay. And
Well, he's
what is-
figuring that out. I'm noticing really quick. I've seen a lot of people give their birthdays in the chat room. There's a lot of June 10th. I've already seen 2 people that said June 10th is their birthday. I'm like, wow, I get. But go ahead.
Fading
Sorry.
out.
It's okay.
Oh, come on.
Okay, now, and then what is the number outside your house, Bill?
842.
842, okay. So 842 with June the 19th. So June the 19th, we were talking about 19 earlier, is a strong number, and it's a number that comes with good past life karma. And 842, now the thing is, June the 19th is the energy of Sun and Mercury, which numbers are, so 1s and 5s are your best numbers, and your best numbers. Now, 842, you got Saturn, Uranus, and Moon now. So Saturn coming with Uranus sometimes, creates, it's like, it holds the energy. And a home like this would, work for about 5 years. So have you been in this property for more than 5 years, Bill?
19.
Yeah, see, so this vibration has been, you overlived this vibration, right? And so this place needs to be passed. What I'd suggest is, not to make it very complicated, we can just add a 0, after we can add a 0, 8804. So I want to shift the energy between the 8 and the 4, because 4 and 8 coming together are kind of, they swirl downwards. So if we use a little 0 between the 8 and the 4, it'll break that energy, and it'll work longer. So that's what I see here. 1962 to now would be, let me see, 8 is 70, and then this 30, and then this is. So you're entering your Neptune year in June, which is actually good. So after your birthday in June, right, you would see
Right.
a good shift. It's going to shift positively. And I mean, that is the reason why you're calling today, because this information has to go to you to make that shift on your house. So I'd say patch it with a 0, make it 8042, get a yellow or a gold sticker. And then for a gemstone, I'd suggest, you can also wear copper, like a magnetized copper bracelet would be good for you, or a ruby and gold would also be excellent for you.
Ruby and gold.
Yes, and you wear it in your right hand and your ring finger.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, but do patch the house. That house does need help. Yeah.
The house needs help?
Yeah. See, a home like this, if I'd own a house like this, I wouldn't sell it. I'll rent it. And I'll rent it for 5 years, 4.5 years at a time. The lease will be about 4.5 years. And then, so what happens is, the tenants who come and live in a number like this, they'll always make money, and your rent will be paid on time. But you just keep them there for about 4.5 years, and then keep changing them. But for an owner to live here for a long time, I'd say it doesn't work that well, and that's why you want to shift it and correct it now for you.
Okay, so if I put a 0
Yeah.
between the 8, so I'm 842, so my number should be.
Yeah, it'll be the same, but we just kind of shift the energy somewhere. We're not trying to change anything. We're just trying to move that energy. That's all.
So, but he would put 8, and he put that little 0 in between the 8 and the 4, right?
Yes, 8042.
Okay, sounds good. So my numbers, are they not too bad, though? The birthday numbers, are they?
Very good numbers. Excellent, very strong numbers. I think had you not been in this house for this long a period of time, things would have been, would have been. But just because your date of birth is very strong, you overcome a lot of difficult situations and challenges very easily. But but honestly, if I were you, I would rent this property and shift into a different vibration, which is more conducive with you.
Well, we can do that.
Excellent. Well, I'm so glad you said that.
All right.
Excellent. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Jesse.
You're most welcome.
Well, thank you for calling in,
And
Bill.
Jason, thank you.
No problem, man. Good hearing from you. All right, phone lines are still open. We're going to take more calls here. We're coming up on a commercial break, though, in about 5 minutes, so we'll definitely take your calls after that. It is interesting, the patch method, like put in the number in there. I wrote down the yellow gold 3 to put on my house. I've been taking notes. But I found it interesting when you're talking to Bill about, the first 5 years would be good in that house, but that shift in that number and that energy can change.
Yeah. See, so now this number, right, Jason, this number it's a good money number, but it'll work for about 5 years. That's it. And after 5, it's like a wheel of fortune, goes up, starts coming down. But what is happening is, he has a strong date of birth, so he's overpowered it, right? But, a home like this is an excellent rental after 5 years, and then money will keep coming to you. Just keep it rented, keep it in your portfolio, but don't live there after 5 years.
I say I wouldn't want to be a landlord, though. I have friends that are landlords. It just does not sound fun. Does not sound fun.
Yeah.
I thought about it, but yeah. I have one friend. My boss is a landlord, and I'm like, sell it now while you can. Like, he's had it for so long. He's so tired of dealing with tenants. I'm like, the market's good right now for you to sell. I would sell, and he's been trying.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean that's interesting how it can shift for people. Some numbers, people will have a residence, that number will work for them forever, right? But that can change for some people depending on their numbers. That energy will change after so many years. That's interesting. Because, that again, back to the haunted factor. We got to go to commercial break soon, but back to the haunted factor too. I'll have people tell me, they moved in the house first few years, 3 years, maybe 4 years, nothing happened, nothing weird, unusual, and then suddenly out of nowhere, things start happening. And they don't know why. I'm like, you use a Ouija board? No, we didn't do anything. Things just started getting weird. It was totally quiet, and 3 or 4 years in. So it could be that shift in energy with the numbers in the period of time.
Exactly.
Man, it's got my brain reeling a little bit. Man, if you really got into numerology and you really studied a case, a haunted location, and figured out the numbers for it, I wonder if you could actually figure out what would be the best times to do a paranormal investigation. Because as an investigator, you'll hear all this crazy stuff happen, and I believe the client, but then you get in there, and I do think our personal energies affect the area when we come in, maybe our numbers, for things to happen. But it'll be quiet. Nothing will happen. That's the way of paranormal investigating. But I believe the clients, but, you can't predict. I always say you can't predict when these things are going to happen, when there's going to be something that happens in the house, something moves, or there's a voice, or these things happen, and you can't predict it. But could the numbers predict kind of paranormal activity?
Yes.
That'd be an interesting theory to test out. That's what I was thinking of. Like, my imagination on that kind of goes a little bit. I've been thinking about it as we have the callers on, like, could you map out, like, you got a haunted location, and it has all this activity. Maybe it's because of the address and the numbers are giving it the bad mojo. Like, would you be able to, if I was a paranormal investigator, say, what would be a good date to investigate this location? Like, I would get some activity. Would you be able to kind of map that out for a location?
I would work on
if you had enough information.
Yeah. Well, look at your date of birth, and we'll see the best numbers in the day of the week, right? And so we want to, you have that strength behind you. So when you walk in there, right, you get what you want, right? So your strength is stronger than whoever is inside. So is how it is. So that's what I would do. I'll pick my best date and my best day number, and do it like that.
What would be my best day number? What number?
I say
Like, do I
Wednesday.
have lucky numbers? Like, what are the
Yeah,
numbers I should be
I
always
say
looking at?
Wednesdays, Wednesdays or Sundays, those days. Try those days.
Yeah, Sunday. I picked Sunday for the show mainly not because of numbers or anything. I picked Sunday because that's when my, I'm always off of work and my kids are in bed that's why we're late at night. But Wednesdays and Sundays, huh?
Yeah, keep those days. And why I say Sunday because the energy of Mercury works well with Wednesday, and the energy of Sun works well with Sunday. That's why I said those days for you.
And so Jamie and Rob have their own show, and that's on Wednesday. Weird Wednesday.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wednesday, there you go.
And what about like titles? When people title books, or I titled this show "Paranormal Soup," is it the title of your book? Did you have to like think about the
Yes.
numbers of like everything in that too?
Absolutely. See the book, the title, all about numbers. If you add the numbers up, I mean, using the Killian code that I use, right, it adds up to a number 54. And so nine's my vibration, right, being a Mars energy. So I've titled it to a number 54, which is 5 and 4, which is Mercury and Uranus. For it to for the message to spread, right,
Right.
and for the energy to work with my numbers. And if you look at the turban, the color, I wear this color all the time because I have Mars energy and the color I'm wearing. And then the color of the book, right, is also it's more it's the crown chakra energy, right? Because it's kind of pulling the energy from there. And then yellow there's a lot of Venus energy. So I just use my number, the colors, and name, and everything else.
Do you even put into account how many words are in the book or however many pages you have in the book?
Yeah, of course. I mean, this book has, of course, the publisher had the final say on the number of the pages of the book, but the total
Right.
was a favorable number, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you get, wait, publisher, I need like,
Yeah.
we're like, that's not how it works, buddy. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go to our last commercial break and continue with the phone lines. Call in, guys. Tell them your birthday. I know a lot of you guys are giving your birthdays out in the chat room. I'm not doing it from the chat room because there's way too many of you, and I want to put Jesse to work. If you really want to get your numbers read tonight, you got to call in. I know you guys are doing it in the chat room. I love you guys in the chat room. But I'm only to let them do the readings for the people that are really calling in tonight. So call in when we come back from the commercial break. Wait till after the commercial break. Call in. We have about a half an hour left when we come back. And give Jesse your birthday and see what he has to say about your numbers and your name. Maybe change your name to Madonna or something. I don't know. We're going to go to commercial break. It does seem like a lot of these stars, these Hollywood actors and musicians that change their name, maybe their life goes successful once they change their name. So there could be something to that. I don't know. I just hate it when they change their name to a symbol. I can't do that. And I'm like, oh, where's my whip? There we go. All right, guys, we'll be right back after a short commercial break.
Intercepted transmission of unknown origin.
Transmission? Out here?
SOS.
Human.
Unknown.
Alien. Certificate X. Exclusive engagement at the Odeon Leicester Square. Now.
Any systematized transmission indicating a possible intelligent origin must be investigated. I don't want to hear all this.
In space, no one can hear you scream.
If you are interested in discovering the truth about the paranormal and want to hear from leading researchers in the field, join Justin Brown on his 3 weekly shows named My Paranormal Soapbox, Necromancer Live Show, and the Supernatural Symposium, live on Facebook, YouTube, and
This is an APAC studio presentation.
Hi, I'm Barry, owner-operator of Barry's Barometer Barn. Lately, I bet you've been lying awake at night asking yourself, how many barometers do I really need? Well, at Barry's Barometer Barn, We think you need more than one. Otherwise, we're gonna go out of business. Remember, at Barry's Barometer Barn, we don't know the meaning of high-pressure sales. Come on, folks, buy another barometer. I'm trying to put my kids through college, I've got a family to support, and a secret mistress who isn't cheap.
Visit Barry's Barometer Barn, 000 Storm Drive. Come on, folks, buy a barometer. I'm Barry's older brother, Larry, and every time one of you people walk past the store without coming in, Barry beats me.
This has been a presentation from Tim Morgan's APAC Studio. For more almost professional amateur comic studio content, visit the APAC YouTube channel. Search APAC 2002. That's APAC 2002 on YouTube.
When Alex Gardner is asleep, he has an extraordinary gift. The government wants it, the scientists want it, but to keep it may cost him his life. It might be better if Alex didn't sleep at all, but he cannot resist entering the dreamscape. Can you? See Dreamscape in the West End and all over London now. Certificate 15. It takes an extraordinary adventurer to enter the dreamscape.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from Talkstream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Heat 'em up. Do, re, gone.
You're listening to Paranormal Soup, bringing you the weird every Sunday night. Call into the show and join the discussion. The call-in lines are 219-230-4444 or 260-225-9419 or by Skype caller ID OOJBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup. And now to your host, Jason Bland.
Tonight's guest is all about the numbers, Jesse Kalsi. He is author of All About the Numbers, Attract Luck, Abundance, and Joy based on your numbers. He's an astronumerologist. We're talking about how numbers affect your life. The phone lines are open for this last half hour. You can call in, give your birthday to Jesse, and he can kind of give you an idea what's going on or what you can do to help patch your energy with like adding a number to your address, which he told me number 3, gold sticker. I got to look into that. You know, I have an address that's like I need like new stickers for my address and mail. People are always getting lost. Now when I go out to buy new ones, I'm gonna make sure I get like a little golden 3 to sneak in there. And I'll tell you if it affects things or changes things. I definitely need some kind of energy because, like I said, everything seems to be breaking down in my house right now. But all the lines are open. Call in, join the discussion, ask your question, give your birthday to Jesse, and let's look into your number energy. Let's get back to our guest. All right, we're back. Now, I noticed, like I said, I don't know if you heard me say earlier, I noticed in the chat room, I saw a number of people like June birthdays or June 10th in the chat room, and that do people with same birthdays get attracted to? I wonder this because I've met people of June 10th birthdays in weird situations in my life. When you have the same birthday, like even though it's different years, is there a connection sometimes with that?
It's just the ruling planet. It's Mercury rules that energy. That's the only connection. But then the rest of it, how the names are written and the places where they live, and a lot of other things, right? I mean, bring the wrong gemstones, or the need chakra clearing energies are not balanced. There are many things, there are many factors, and there are many factors.
That's what it seems like. I mean, life, like I say, I'm spiritual agnostic. I question everything, but I believe in an afterlife. I believe in higher power. I believe in reincarnation. I've seen all these things. I believe as I've gathered, partly a deep down knowing, but as evidence has been presented to me throughout my life. But I always tell people I believe in like a force or a will that moves life ahead. And that's what I kind of like the idea of numerology and the numbers and the planets influence, because I feel that there is a force that brings us to the right people when we need it. If we're right, especially if you're like going with, I don't know, I always call it going with the flow, or if you're in the zone, or your energy is flowing right, you meet the right people when you need to.
That is true, absolutely true. You would attract the right people with the right kind of numbers,
And that's what the patches are about, is to kind of like change that energy, so you start attracting the good stuff instead of the bad stuff.
Exactly, the positive vibe. Exactly. See, it's not, like I said earlier, Jason, these numbers are alive, so the moment you use that
right
3 there, it starts vibrating, it starts moving, energy attracting, and it shifts the complete vibration, right? And then, like you said earlier, it attracts, the vibe becomes more positive, and that you can maybe let me know what happens after you patch it. Give it a little time, and then see how things shift,
All right, I had to call somebody back here. We got another caller. They tried calling. I don't know why it keeps hanging up on people. I have to call them back. So if you call in and it hangs up on you, I'll probably try to call you back because that seems to be working. And I don't know why it's working that way. But we got 503 area code. Who do we got? Or is it doing this where they doesn't let them talk again? 503 area code, or whoever's on the phone line right now. You there? Hello? So weird. My phone lines are being so weird tonight. I don't know why. Rob, did you figure out if your number was working? He's muted right now.
My Skype isn't working.
It isn't working. Okay.
503.
Okay. 503 area code. Are you there? Hello? Can you hear us? I think I hear somebody in the background. Oh.
Was that the bumping?
Oh, they hung up. No, I'll try this next one. All right, we got somebody else online. Who do we got?
Hi, Jason. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Hey, it's Turquoise Diva.
Oh, hey, Turquoise.
Hey, I'm glad you got a vacation. It was well deserved.
Yeah, it's been a long time. A long time since we've had a vacation. Like 15 years.
Oh, goodness. Well, we're glad to have you back. We missed you.
I missed you guys, too.
Okay, Jesse?
Yeah, hi.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you, too.
Yes, I'd like to find out if you could tell me my stone and maybe a good color for my car.
Absolutely. What is your date of birth?
Okay, my date of birth is August 26, 1961.
Okay, August 26, 1969. Okay, August, September. So August, September, see, this is more Virgo energy. And Virgo is more Mercury, which is number 5. Now, what is the number outside your house?
443.
So 443, okay. So 443, this definitely needs a pet. Now, how long have you been here?
27 years.
Yeah, this house definitely needs a patch. There's 443 with Uranus twice and Jupiter, right? Would affect your money and your relationship both. Um, yeah, so let's look at 26. So August the 26th, we have a lot of Sun and Jupiter. So Sun and Jupiter is the number ones and the number 3. I say 1, 3, 5, and 6. All these numbers will work with you. 1, 3, 5, 6. And the colors are more like, blue, beige, green, and off-white. These are your best colors: blue, beige, green, off-white. Avoid dark colors like red or black. What is the color of your current car?
Beige.
Beige?
Yes, it's beige, kind of tan.
That's good. Beige is a good color for you. Okay? Beige is definitely a good color for you. What you could do is on your license plate, you could use numbers 55, like 55 twice, you know. So 55 twice on a license plate would be, or 555, 55555 would be excellent for you. So beige with that number, best number is 1356. And then your gemstone, I'd say uh, Jupiter. I'll go with a yellow sapphire, in a gold setting, and that would work. Yeah, a yellow sapphire is, in your case, would work best in your right pointer finger in a gold setting.
All right.
Okay, and then
Okay, well, thank you so much.
and then there's another thing.
Sorry?
Avoid any business partnerships. Don't get into any business partnership. Be careful.
Okay.
Yeah, and one more thing here. So let me look at the cycle quickly. 1961. So that would be 17, 20, and 22. So yeah, 60-second year. So yeah, so you be a little. So this cycle that has begun now. It's good you asked me this question about the color of the car. You got a beige color car. Use the 555s. Wear that gemstone, and then your house number. That's very important now. This house has to be patched, and a patch on this house because those 2 4s, Uranus twice, has to be shifted, and that can be shifted by placing a number 3 between the 4s. So what you should do is a
Okay.
3. So make it 4 3 4 3. It's like that. You know. So we want to
Okay.
break the Uranus twice. What happens when Uranus comes twice? It kind of it kind of doesn't work very well with the 26 there. But if you break that frequency with the number 3, which is Jupiter, it'll shift really well. Patch your house.
Okay. Can I just let me ask you real quick? I'm planning on moving in the next 2 or 3 years. Could you give me what would be a good house number?
That's a good question I have too, actually.
Yeah, good house number for you. I say go into a house number like a 33. A 33 is good for you. I say a number. I won't go live in a 5 home because they're kind of unstable. They kind of work for a little while. But Venus numerology is like number 33, a number 42, a 24, or just a number 6 by itself. Not a 15 or a 51. No, okay, no 15 or a 51. No, but double threes, like I said, double threes, 42, 24 would be excellent numbers for a long time. Try to, get into a property which is facing the north or the northeast direction. That will be really, really good for you. Okay. And,
Okay.
yeah, but I'm glad that you said that you're going to move. It'll definitely happen once you patch this house with a number 3 in the middle, 4 3 4 3. It'll sell very quick, and it'll be really good for you. I can tell you, that'll be excellent for you. Be very happy when that happens.
All right. Thank you so much.
You are most welcome.
Thank you, Turquoise Diva.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Darn it. I think I just had, let me call him back. Just had Dan try to call in. I had a lot of people now try to call in right at the end. I forgot to ask too, my 714 address, and you told me to add the 3. Would it matter where I put the 3 on mine?
No, it has to be the beginning. I mentioned that. It
Oh,
has to
the
come. Yeah.
beginning. I
Yeah.
missed
Yeah.
that. Didn't have it in my notes, so it'd be
Yeah.
before the 714.
Yeah. It has to come with. So Jupiter and Neptune, they kind of combine really well.
Let me see if I get Dan back here. I'm gonna call Dan. You don't hear the call. Sorry. Just get him on because I know he just called. You there, Dan?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, man. Sorry, I was trying to get to you right before I had Turquoise Steve come on. Thanks for calling in. I'll call you back.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hello, Jesse. How are you?
How are you?
Good. I guess one question I have is if you see like numbers repeated in your life like several times, like in a sequence, like for me, it's the number 1 and the number 3, but they're never together.
Okay. So what is your date of birth?
2/24, 1978.
Okay, it's 2/24/1978. So February the 24th. So February 24, we got Venus and Mercury, which is really good. The numbers are very good. We got Mercury and Venus as the basic energy. And so ones and threes, if you see ones and threes, those aren't the best. If you just see 3 by itself, it's okay, but if you see ones and threes, it's yeah,
I
it's not.
don't see them together. They're always separate. It's either a 1 or a 3.
Yeah. So if you see a 3 by itself, I think that is a positive vibe. It's like that's a green light, right? But the number 1 is start telling you, be cautious, kind of watch out energy,
So like stop and go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But numbers are really strong. You got strong. What's the number outside your house?
2625.
Oh, so 2625. So we got moon twice, and we got Mercury once, which is pretty good actually. I mean, these numbers are working for you too. And I'd say more Mercury. I go with Mercury. I'll go with a number 5 here. You can a number 5. Even amethyst will work for you. Amethyst, like a little bracelet, and then more for your crown chakra would be really good. And then and something green, an emerald or a jade would be very good for you too.
Okay.
Green's our squad color. We play a game. We're in a squad, and yeah, green's our squad color.
Yeah. All right. I will do green. I will do all that.
All right.
Thank you, Jesse.
You had something else? Go ahead, Dan.
What's that?
Did you have something else? Or was that?
No, that's about it. I think.
All right, Dan.
Yeah.
You have a great night.
All right. You too, man. Thanks.
Me and my wife are gonna. The market keeps changing, but we do want. We live in a house that is just feeling too small anymore with 2 growing boys running around, and I'd like a little bit bigger house and a better location more than anything. If I were to be searching for a house, for the numbers I gave you, I know you got to go back through your notes probably, but what would be like an address numbers I would be looking for?
I'd go with more Venus too. It's like you go like a 333 303, or let me look at that one more time here.
Yeah, let me get that because we are kind of looking, so this would get some good
We
information.
got June 10, October 14, September 30th, and January 29. We had Mercury is kind of common in a lot of these, but we have Venus as well. And Venus, you know what? Like I said earlier, I'm happier with Venus energy on a residence. I don't like Mercury on a home because Mercury's unstable. It'll work for a little while, and then suddenly it just kind of swings away.
Yeah.
And it just So I go much Venus. Like a number 6 would be good by itself, or like a number 33 or 24 or 42. And then saying what I said earlier, avoid a 15 and a 15. No.
Avoid 15.
15 or a 51, not that good. But these vibrations or numbers that or say if you get a number which has 3 or 4 digits but have compatible vibrations in it that total to some energy that works with you. But more Venus, but stay with more Venus. And the other important thing is look at the direction of the house. Keep it more north or northeastern entry, and then the rest of it is on numerology. And then a lot other things can be shifted inside as well.
What about the color of the house?
Color best a light color, like a light off-white or a cream color. A good
My
color.
house right now is like a light green.
No, no, green. No, you don't need green on a house, you know.
That's what it is. I need new
Yeah,
siding.
yeah,
So
no green on the house. You need, off-white is the color, and especially on the northeastern walls, it has to
yeah.
be off-white. That direction pulls money, right? If you put green there, it's not good. And I think
Oh.
that's one reason why you're feeling all this crittering, right? I think the color, that green color, cover
Yeah.
it, just make it all the same off-white.
Well, I had some siding people come over and like try to convince me that my insurance would cover all the siding. I'm like, yeah, but I do need siding, so maybe like talk to my wife. A lot of house remodeling we're doing. I'm like, oh, we'll go with an off-white color over the green.
Could
We
the
didn't pick it.
Could
But,
the green be doing a reverse on you, and that's why money going out and
yeah.
problems and things? You think?
Yeah,
We had a lot of trouble early on. I'll tell you that when we first moved in this house 15 years ago, 16 years ago.
green. Yeah, I would just patch the house and cover the green, and then like you're already indicating, I think there'll be a shift, right? And you'll find the right spots going to come. A better vibration is going to come to you, much better.
Now, like if I were to be picking a new car, like you told me the gray and silver colors were good. What are colors to avoid? Like for
I'd
myself for
avoid the
getting a car?
black and the red, Just avoid those.
Oh, I like black cars. I definitely don't do red cars.
Yeah.
Do not do red cars.
Yeah,
I've
don't
had
touch that.
and like one of the cars I had the worst trouble with was a van that was like a burgundy red.
No, for you.
And then I had my favorite car was a green. That thing died.
That would work. Like a gunmetal kind of color would work too. Like a gun
I do like those. They got the new
Yeah.
Civics. They're like this gunmetal kind of like, I
Yeah.
like that. Or a matte gray or sometimes. So like gray is
Yeah.
good for me for a car. Yeah.
green. Yeah, that would work with you. Like gunmetal, yeah.
Well, so far it's worked for me. I got a 2007 Impala that's still going. Knock on wood. I treat her nice. I'm like, thank you for still living. But yeah, so avoid. I think people should avoid the color red car just because it's a pullover magnet. But yeah, so black though, I like black cars. Oh. All right, I'll stay away from black. We're gonna come up about 10 minutes to the end of the show. Do you have a website for people to reach out to you
Yes.
for like how to? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
I want to make sure we get
I
this
do.
information.
My-
Like if somebody wanted to get an actual full reading from you, numerology wise, what's the
Absolutely.
steps they got to go through?
Yeah, I mean, they can Google me. If you go Jesse Kalsi on Google, you'll find me right away. On my website is jessekalsi.com. It's spelled JESSEKALSI.com. And they can go and, research me. Or I might much request them to kind of do a little due diligence, check me out online, and then you're most welcome for a consult. I'll be more than happy. I do personal readings. I also do business readings, And and I'm grateful for all the good people who come and consult with me.
And does it seem like, you do celebrities? Are you going out after celebrities, or they just kind of find you word of mouth, or?
Yeah, no, I don't go after anybody. No, I don't.
Right.
No, I absolutely don't. Yes, this book invited a lot of them. This went into a person in Bombay, and then it went to some celebrities, and then one liked it, and then it went in that circle. You know how it is? They have their own group, so that's how it went, right? From one to the other, and just spread like that. And it is pretty much set the same way in Hollywood as well. As someone once liked it, and then I think it'll be passed on to other A-listers. So it's.
I've heard a lot of stories about different celebrities. Like they have to have a certain color M&M. Like they can be very particular people, so they probably love that. Like, oh yeah, I'm changing all my colors.
They do. They're very interesting, but the ones that I know there are many of them are my friends now too. They're a little insecure. They're very anxious.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. They're.
Well, I think some of the people that they're the loudest and try to get the most attention. I've learned this since my childhood, are also the ones that are the most insecure.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Very,
It's like little dog syndrome or something. I don't know, but it's like, look at me, they got to get themselves out there or whatever. But there's something about powers behind people. Maybe it's their birth date or their karma or whatever. There's certain people that just they got the charisma, man. They got it, and you know it when you meet them. I've met some celebrities and that it's a weird feeling, and that all comes down to that karma and birth date for them, right?
Absolutely.
That sets their energy.
But just like you said, Jason, they're very superstitious, and they're very
I've noticed
people they want to talk to and the people they want to work with, and they're very, very into all these things. The metaphysics and the metaphysical, they're big time into it.
Oh
And
yeah, I can think of a lot of actors.
yeah.
I read a story about Courtney Cox from Friends that she bought a house from. Oh, I'm trying to remember the name of the famous actress, or was it a singer? I think it was a singer. I can't remember. She bought a house from, and then the singer. God, I can't remember. What Courtney Cox said it was, but her house was totally haunted. Like stuff was happening, and the singer came in there and did like this whole like feng shui and like shaman like thing. Was like totally into that. She's like, I never knew this person was into that. But there's like a ton of celebrities that you don't even know secretly are really into this stuff, or really into numerology, really into astrology, really into all this, and really believe it. I mean, you can go back to presidents that were in, like Abraham Lincoln's wife was really into, the mystical and the occult. It's surprising when you find out people that seem, they would never be into it are totally superstitious, totally, they won't stay in a hotel room number 13 or 1408. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's very superstitious. It's like they know the energy flows a certain way for them.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, because it's gone that way for their life.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, one thing I mentioned, like the name of my show, Paranormal Soup. Is that a bad name for my show I've had for 6 years, and that's why I'm got? I feel like we've gotten somewhere, but
let's look at that quickly. Oh, that's right there.
I hope it's a good name because I love that name.
Paranormal is you can do it right here. So I got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5, 17, and 7 is 24, 25, 30, 31, and 34. 34 is very mystical. And then we got soup here, 7 and 3, 10, 16, and 8 is 24. And that makes it, so 5 and 8 is Mercury, and that's pretty good. Let me do it one more time here. So you got paranormal, so we got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 5 is 17, and 7 is 24. And 2, 26, and 4 is 30, 31, and 34 is paranormal soup is 7, 3, 10, 16, and 8 is 24. So we got Venus and this thing here. So paranormal soup, we got Mercury and 5 and 8. So that energy does go with your name. So yeah, that's a good name. Absolutely.
I felt it was like the moment it clicked on me, like,
yeah.
Like, what should I name? I thought I was trying to build this show, and like at the very beginning when I thought I was going to do a live show or whatever, I'm like, what am I going to name this dang thing? And
that's good, though. Good. That absolutely works for you. Paranormal Soup is a good name.
And I use a lot of green in my colors for my advertisement and banners and the background. That's
very
good
for you, but not on your wall, please.
Yeah, or not on my outside of my house.
Excellent. Yeah. Everywhere else, advertising and green is fantastic for you. Excellent.
Oh, good, because I love the color green. Jamie, what are you going to say?
What about our numbers together as a group?
That's a good. Thank you. No, that's a good one.
Okay, so we got here. So let's look at that. So
we can give our birthdays again, Jamie.
I have it all here. Let me see here.
Okay.
I have 2, 7, T, and we got. Here.
I think our numbers will be good. I tell people all the time I don't really have any friends in my town. I don't have anybody to hang out with. My two friends are these guys right here.
Jamie, so you got Jamie was 2463 on a home number here, and she was Jupiter and Venus. Okay, and then we have Jason's got Sun and Mercury, which is compatible, and then we have Rob. Rob was a Capricorn. No, sorry. Rob was
January.
January, yeah. What was it, Rob? What was yours?
Oh, you're muted, Rob.
What?
Unmute yourself.
11364.
Oh yeah, it's got it. So 113. Yeah, so that was 113. Sorry, you got Tony right in here.
Yeah.
So 130 was Mercury, Sun and Mercury. So Rob and Jason are identical, 1 and 5, and then Jamie's got Venus energy, but then Jamie has she's born in the month. She's 5th of June.
May.
May.
Sorry, May the 6th. She's May the 6th, yeah. And May has Mercury energy anyway, which rules it. So number 5. So yeah, so it's communication. 5's communicating. All 3 of you are really good.
Yeah, I already knew that.
Yeah, it's all communication, right?
And like I said, synchronicity brings people together. It really did bring us together in a way. I mean, I had a lot of people try to like come on and be on the show with me, and I'm not trying to be egotistical or anything like that, but I was careful about who I brought on and what energy felt good to me. And when I had these two on right away, I know, yep, I could have these guys on with me every night.
Yes, excellent. I think that was a great choice. Excellent, great numbers. You all flow really well for a long time. Yeah, for a long time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we put you to work on the numbers tonight.
You're most welcome, and I enjoyed being here. It's nice to share our thoughts with the world and maybe of help to somebody. I hope.
Now, do you have other future books in the works, or?
Yeah, I'm working on another one, and we'll see what comes. The different people keep coming, and we'll see what's going to come. I'm it's kind of still vague, but it's kind of coming together. So we'll see.
Anything else project wise you want to plug here before we go, or?
Yeah, there's this something with more television now. I have a agent in Los Angeles, so he's kind of looking into more television and some more visibility, right?
Yeah.
So something like that is also being worked on right now. We'll see how it goes, but it feels good.
Hey, there's reality. You could be the reality show. Come in and I'll patch your numbers for people, like a feng shui kind of thing. And you come in and patch your numbers. I don't know. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And I'm grateful.
Well, Jesse, it's been a pleasure to have you on. I'd love to have you on again sometime in the future. And thank you again for taking the calls tonight and giving people insight to their numbers.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Rob, and thank you, Jimmy. Thank you very much.
All right, guys.
Enjoyed being here. All right.
That is it. That is it for the show. We will be back next week with guest Brent Michael Phillips, author of The Formula of Miracles. It's a really interesting book. I got to get into here. I've been so busy lately. It's like I've been come back from vacation and run around like a chicken with a head cut off. But I got to read this book. Author of Formula of Miracles, Brent Michael Phillips, next Sunday. And then Easter is the following Sunday. We will not be back on Easter. We'll be back next Sunday, but the following Sunday we are not going to do a show. I have to work a little bit later than I usually do that night, and I want to spend some time with my kids since I'm working that day, so that night's kind of my Easter night with my kids. So no show on Easter, but we will be back this next Sunday. Tune in, same bad time, same bad channel, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Central, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you to everyone who shares the show. Keep telling your friends about Paranormal Soup, an open place and forum where we can all talk about a weird, strange, unusual experience that is life, and with no judgments here every Sunday night. Join us. And thank you again to all the people who donate $2 a month on Patreon. You can also donate $5 or $10. There's levels. I know I keep saying I got to get more stuff on Patreon for you guys. We will. Again, thank you again to everybody who does share their show and comes and watches every Sunday night. All right, guys, have a great night. See you next week.